smart drinking water system can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Fed up with companies selling your data? DuckDuckGo is on it. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All right, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here. Happy New Year. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, brought to you by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, give Brad Mays a call today, 937-572-7425. Of course, if you're watching live on Facebook and YouTube, which we have that feed officially back up and rolling, our first live video stream of the new year. How about that?
Happy New Year.
We look just as bad as we did back, in the, well, I shouldn't speak for you, but, so there's that. But 518-1410, that's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation, be a part of everything we do here live. Let's go live. I've seen, by the way, we're live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm still trying to learn the new buttons. Oh, there we go. There's our pretty faces. You're off and rolling.
Hi, Mom.
Got the new graphics rolling. Got some new music going. Everything is good. David Shaw says, Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year.
I know you didn't watch the game, Shaw. I don't want to spoil the ending, but I'm going to. Your team's not in the national championship. New Year, same me, I guess. I don't know.
No, man, he went to the game.
Tyler Fife, I think that's his name, says, I sure did miss you all the last couple of weeks. We missed you guys as well. I'm not gonna lie, the batteries are recharged.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That little break, and I'm glad to be back.
It's like you talked about before, at the tail end of the year when there's so much going on with family and holidays and shopping and yada, yada, yada. You do need to recharge the batteries, man. So we got to do that. Now we're back, headed right into NFL playoffs. And neither one of our teams are going.
Richard Boyd says, pretty faces. One of the two ain't bad. You decide. Oh, Richard. Can I call you Dick, or is your name Richard? I'm just joking, Richard. No, Richard, we know damn well who you're talking about, and that's fine. I agree with you. So there you go. But Richard, Happy New Year. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a great holiday break, as for all of you. Jake Whiting. Yeah, I see you, Jake. I see ya. Now, the thing that stinks is we weren't on live video to open up the show. So a lot of you Bengals fans are waiting for me to take shots at your team who just watch on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm here to tell you, you broke me. You got me. I got nothing to say. You guys beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow out-dueled Patrick Mahomes. Jamar Chase isn't just a good rookie receiver. He's a top 3 wide receiver in football right now. I got nothing. Because, see, this is what I wanted y'all to understand. Is I've always said this, and this is where you guys look stupid and not me. I said y'all look stupid because I said you're defending a team that's won 6 games in the last 2 years. So during that stretch, when I'm calling them bad because they are, they have a good offensive line because they didn't, still don't. Didn't have a good quarterback because they didn't, do now. Didn't have a good offense, didn't, they do now. Didn't have a good defense, not great now, but it's solid. Should be better. You spent $200. But bottom line is, I've always said when the Bengals are, it's not like I'm telling you a good Bengals team is bad. This team is good. How good? I don't want to get into. I mean, this 2-week stretch, Kev, has been unfreaking believable. Yeah. I don't think that's who they're going to be every single week. But then when you look at the fact,
it's impossible to be like every single week.
But at the same time, is it? Because you have Jamar Chase, you have Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins, you have Joe Mixon. Like, why not? Like, this is almost going to work against the Bengals at times. It works against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at times, where you're so explosive offensively that when you have human days, normal days, you're looked at as having an off day. I don't know if that's fair, but that's the reality of it. I'm not saying that's how I'm going to view it, but at the same time, when you have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon, and you are as good as Joe Burrow, who, let me just get this out of the way now. The best quarterback in the AFC North, not even close. Don't care how good Lamar Jackson is. Don't care that he's won an MVP. I will take Joe Burrow over any quarterback in the AFC North right now, except for Mason Rudolph. We all know he's the GOAT. But so you guys won that one. Baker Mayfield's still a very, very good quarterback, and when healthy, He will get this team back to the playoffs next year. It's not up for debate. Bengals and Browns, I've said from the beginning, can't wait to get to the point where these are the two. You know, everyone talks about Ravens and Steelers as the face of the AFC North. Can you imagine how cool it's going to be to get to a point where it's the Browns and the Bengals? I think that the Browns and the Bengals are set up for long-term. Well, when I say long-term, long in the NFL is 2 to 3. Now look how quickly things change, okay? A year ago, Bengals fans, even you, did not think that this team was going to be winning the division and making the playoffs. Remember, I paid attention to all of you coming into the year, Kev. Like, the Bengals fans don't get to do this thing of, how does it feel to eat crow? You were wrong. You guys are wrong, too. None of you thought that this team was going to make the playoffs. Not any of you morons thought that they were going to win the division. And you're over here, how's the crow, Kenner? Who day, baby? Who gonna beat the Bengals? Apparently, you thought enough people were going to beat the Bengals that they weren't going to make the playoffs this year. Now you're sitting over here chirping. Enjoy it. Have fun. I'm not here. My goal this year with this playoff run for the Bengals, I'm not going to make this unenjoyable for you. You don't get to the playoffs by accident, okay? You don't accidentally win 10 freaking games in the NFL, okay? The sad thing is you could have won more. Shouldn't have lost to the Bears. Shouldn't have lost to the Jets. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, there's some bad losses along the way, but every team, even the top teams, have some ugly losses. Okay, it is what it is. I'm not going to make this unenjoyable for you, but I am going to use logic more times than not, and sometimes that's where we have that disconnect. The team won 6 games in 2 years coming into this year, and you guys called me crazy for doubting them. I called you crazy for looking at a team that won 6 games in 2 years and saying they're going to be great. But then you guys do this whole thing where you kind of padded your expectations of, look, they're going to be drastically improved. They're not going to win the division. They might flirt with the wild card. That's as optimistic as you guys were coming into the year. And now you're doing this whole I told you so thing. You don't get to do the I told you so thing when you never told me this. You told me Jamar Chase was the right draft pick, okay? That you didn't tell me he was going to be the best receiver in football. No one envisioned him being the best receiver in football. You can argue Hopkins and Adams and what have you. Fine, that's fine. I think Jamar Chase, just from impact alone, like Aaron Rodgers, I think more so and this isn't a shot at Joe Burrow because I know where this is heading, Kev. Ready for this? This is how good Jamar Chase is. Joe Burrow is freaking good. This isn't a shot at Joe Burrow, but I believe Aaron Rodgers makes Adams who he is, and that doesn't mean Adams wouldn't be good elsewhere. But I think Aaron Rodgers brings out more in Adams than Adams brings out in Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I think that we've seen Hopkins have an impact on Murray, but Hopkins is really good. But I think Murray puts Hopkins in those situations to succeed there. The difference is
with D-Hop.
More time. I mean, he's getting a lot of deep balls.
D-Hop was balling before Deshaun Watson got to the Texans with you playing quarterback.
No, what was his name? Osweiler.
Yeah, Brock Osweiler. Who else was there? AJ McCarron was there. He was balling.
But I think
somebody in
Chase
between
makes
there.
Burrow more than Burrow makes Chase. And that's not a shot at Burrow. That's just how freaking good. So I wasn't setting this up to take a shot at Burrow. I'm being serious. Like, I think he's that good. Maybe Hopkins was not a good. I think Jamar Chase, his comp in the league is Hopkins. I think he will be better than Hopkins. And Hopkins, you can't go wrong with having Hopkins. But that, you know what I mean? Like, that's how good he is. C. Higgins is built more like AJ Green. He has more of that AJ Green type of
long strider. Yeah.
And then there's Tyler Boyd, who, like I said, if that's your worst wide receiver, you're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I don't know, but 518-1410. You guys heard us talk. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to let's go to Mark on. We got Mark. Mark, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
Mark.
Hey, Kevin, are you there? Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Mark, you're live on the air. What you got for us, man? Happy New Year.
I had to mess with my phone real quick. Sorry about that.
No, okay. I'm just glad we're all on the same page. Look, it's the first show of the new year. We're a little rusty too. That's why we weren't on the live feed to start. So how are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that. I couldn't find you guys on Facebook, man, so I'm freaking out. Like, I gotta get a hold of these guys. I put it on Facebook there a minute ago. The thing is, we totally pretty much handed the Ravens twice this year, and in the last game against the Ravens, they had a depleted defense, of course, because of COVID-related illnesses and things. So we go against the Chiefs. But we look just as good against the Chiefs that we did against the Ravens, and their defense wasn't. So really, how good are the Bengals? You know what I mean?
The Bengals are legit. No, I'm not here to debate.
We ain't won a playoff game yet.
Well, but I think Bengals fans feel better about this Burrow-led offense than the Andy Dalton-led offense. The difference is, and with this playoff Bengals team compared to the last run, was you were going in hoping Vontaze Burfict, the Pac-Man, and guys like that were going to make enough plays defensively to put you're still good. By the way, Andy Dalton's offense wasn't terrible. Like, that's the thing. People crap on that offense all the time, but that was a very good offense that Andy Dalton had. I'll still take this Burrow offense, but I think this Burrow offense has so much confidence that the fans just feel like this is it. Plus, you look at the AFC, I look at the playoff picture. There's a lot of really good teams, but there's only one team that has a better offense than the Bengals in the AFC, and that's the Kansas City, and we just watched them outduel them. So I think confidence is through the roof right now, and you have every right to. You have a top 5 running back. Joe Burrow's playing like a top 10 quarterback, and if he would have started playing like this maybe a half a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sooner, he's more so in the MVP conversation. I think his name's in there now. I don't think he's going to win it, but if he started playing like this just a tad sooner, we're talking about him in the MVP conversation. Jamar Chase going to win Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's unbelievable what this offense has done to carry this team.
Right. And as far as I've been listening for quite a while, and the Jamar Chase thing, I looked at his stats earlier, and, at the time he was struggling, but he's still well over 50% as far as catching, as far as when he's targeted. So, he's had I don't know. How many other receivers out there are pushing 60% on receiving that when they're targeted? You know what I mean?
Oh, no. You're a Bengals fan, correct, Mark?
Oh, yeah.
You don't sound
I try to look at it a little bit.
I feel like the fact that
I try to look at it.
New year is making new year, new me. The fact that I'm having to talk a Bengals fan into feeling confident. What is going on, Kev?
I love it.
My lunch break. What the hell's going on?
Hey, and do we still have a chance for a first round bye?
What's that situation? Hold on, let me pull that up.
I don't think so. I think the Bengals are locked into the 3 spot, if I'm not mistaken.
They're 10-6. You got the Titans 11-5, Kansas City 11-5, but you just beat Kansas City.
So you would need Kansas City to lose. No. Hold on.
Do you play for seeding?
Yeah.
If I'm if you're the
you're saying it.
You
No,
try to
I'm
play
not.
For a better seed. I don't play Burrow against the Browns. I don't play anyone against the Browns.
Oh, we got to though.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it's a lose-lose. You guys can't beat the Browns even when healthy. Baker Mayfield owns you guys. Come on now. You know this. Like head into the playoffs at confidence. Don't let Baker kill that confidence. Okay.
So Tennessee they're at the Texans, who've been playing a lot better, by the way. Shouts out to David Culley down there in Texas. But I think you're playing the percentages here. Like, do you roll the dice and say, like, all right, we're going to go out there and try to beat the Cleveland Browns and think that the Texans are going to jump up and bite Tennessee? Like, I don't think that's a game that I'm trying to play. I don't think that's a risk that I think I'm trying to roll, man. I think I'm going to just try out there and use this upcoming week versus the Browns as a glorified bye week, because I already got the AFC North on lock. That means I has a home playoff game, and I like my chances that way.
So Nick on Facebook says if Kansas City and Tennessee lose, so yeah.
Yeah, you need two teams to lose.
They don't even have to beat the Browns, technically, right?
No, they will have to beat them because they only have 10 wins, and both Kansas City and Tennessee already have 11
Tennessee
wins
this year, right? They played. No. Obviously, they played Kansas City. They just beat Kansas City. Either way, that's the chance for a 1 seed still there. I'm not saying you don't play for it, but at the same time, is risking sending your guys out there in week 18 to try to beat the Browns to get that 1 seed when you already have the AFC North locked up. I just don't know if that.
Yeah, Garrett trying to prove something.
A bye's nice, but let's be honest too. If the Bengals were banged up, though, the Bengals aren't banged up. But that's why you want to start playing now. I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't start anyone of significance against the Browns on Sunday.
Nor do I.
I kind of agree, but man, that was embarrassing what they did to us in Cincinnati, though.
Well, yeah, that's what That's what Baker does, man. He owns you guys. I mean, he owns the AFC. Hey, Mark, good hearing from you, man. Happy New Year.
Hey, you guys have a great Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
I know there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, that huge win against Kansas City, 48-45 yesterday. Or what was the final score? I'm sorry, that was the Buckeyes.
That was the Ohio State game.
That was the Ohio State game.
34-31.
34-31 yesterday. Sorry about that. But yeah, 518-1410. 518-1410. That's the number to jump in on the conversation. We're also live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. Head there now. Jump in. Let's go to Willie. Willie, how are you, my friend? Hang on. Willie. We lost Willie. Willie, call back. I know you're in the chat section. I'd rather hear from you because I know you're going to be talking a lot of smack. Let's go to Spoon. Spoon, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
My fellow Americans.
Oh, this is the Spoon. Of course, there's only one Spoon. What the hell's wrong with me? Let me redo that. We got Spoon live here on the air. How are you, sir?
My fellow American, I am pissed off.
Whoa! Why? Your team won? What's wrong with you? You're a Cleveland Browns fan, aren't you?
I'm a Browns fan.
Oh,
And I go back to the 5 games that we had the ball last and did not win one damn game. 5 times we had the ball last. And I posted on Facebook after we lost to Las Vegas. I said, we're done. See, now we got to go by this team needs to win, this team needs to lose, this team needs to win. We're done. We had our chance. We had the ball with 2 minutes to go, all our timeouts, and we start passing the daggone ball, and Baker throws his 4th interception. It's ridiculous, man. I'm so upset, Kendall, that I might not even watch the game tonight. And I've watched every last Cleveland Browns game for the past 10 or 15 years. But tonight, why should I even watch it? Tell me, why should I watch it?
Well, for one,
you don't want to be like Shaw.
No, that's reason number one. Listen, I'm with you. The worst thing the Browns ever did was start to win some games to make us interested. I mean, we were used to them missing the playoffs and used to them losing, and now it's like we're reliving that abusive relationship again, man. I'm with you. Look, the sad thing is about that damn Packers game on Christmas Day is that's the best Baker looked throwing the dang football. Since week 1 against Kansas City. That's what made that game. I was angry. I didn't tweet or Facebook. I didn't do no social media because I was angry. I'm with you. I was pissed off, Smooth, because I'm like, Baker Mayfield, that's the best he looked throwing the football since week 1. And then, of course, he completed a lot more passes to the other team than his own at a certain point. But look, at this point, it's about, I guess you could take some confidence into next year. Man, we're going back to the loser playbook. Confidence into next year. Tank for draft picks. My God, it's going back to the old playbook.
Hey, Karen, let me say this right quick, man. The difference between Mayfield, Burrow and all these other guys, he's got the receivers true, but he's placing that ball right there for these guys. And I've never seen anything like it except for Mahomes. He's placing it right there, and they're making a catch. And the great thing about Chase, he's got more yaks than anybody in the league. So that's the yards after the catch.
Yakety yak.
If you're not right up on top of that guy's going to go past you, man. He's unbelievable.
That's what Kevin and I talked about earlier. Is like the Bengals have all these humongous plays, like these large yard gains and stuff on the season. But a lot of they're not big explosive plays. They're not like throwing the ball deep down the field. A lot of them are just 10, 15 yards, and then they're doing the rest. So it's easy to beat Joe Burrow when you got that many weapons. My goodness.
Do you think if we had Chase with Mayfield that Chase would still have the same numbers?
I do not think Baker would have the same. I do not think. Look, Baker's not. I had to finally rip the Band-Aid off. I've known for a while, but I didn't want to give the Bengals fans the pleasure of just saying it. It's a new year, new me. Spoon. Baker Mayfield on his best day is not Joe Burrow on his best day. So, but I think the numbers will be better. Let's be honest. We're ripping Baker Mayfield for it's taking a step back this year. The injuries and COVID didn't help. But he doesn't have a good receiving core. Jarvis Landry is not a number 1 wide receiver, and he is his number 1 wide receiver, and that's the problem. Everyone said, well, he had OBJ and couldn't do anything with him. OBJ is not a number 1 wide receiver either. Everyone keeps bringing up OBJ's success with the Rams. I'm like, do you realize he's getting the same targets, the same catches? He has the only difference between LA Ram OBJ and Cleveland OBJ is touchdowns. Everything else is the same. It's not like he's the number 1 target over there either. So
Cooper Kupp is the number 1 target. Kupp's the number 1 target. But, like I say, I'm so upset, man. And I got to give it to the Bengals. I think they're going to go all the way. It's killing me to say this. Killing me, man.
Go back to being pissed off. That's don't be giving them too much credit.
Hey, y'all take care, man.
Take care, Spoon. 518-1410. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. And, of course, Tim's Bar and Grill on Brown Street, and Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Kev, who we got waiting on hold?
We got Rob, and we have Charlie on the line as well. He wants to talk to you.
Charlie, he deserves it. That's the thing. I'm not here to I swear to you, you all don't have to trust me. I don't deserve your trust. But my goal, I did. My goal is I'm not here to ruin this experience, man. This is fun. It really is fun. It was fun last year when the Browns made it. It was fun on game day. It was fun when they won the playoff game. Look, I don't care about those Andy Dalton-led Bengals. I don't care that they haven't won a playoff game in decades. This team just feels different, man. You got Jamar Chase, you got Tyler Boyd, you got T. Higgins, you got Joe Mixon, you got Joe Burrow throwing the ball the way he is, and you have just a good enough defense to get this done. I don't know what get this done means, though, Kev. Like, what does get this done mean? Like, we're going to figure that out, and y'all are going to help us. 518-1410. Let's continue talking Bengals on the other side. 518-1410. We'll be back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Gentlemen, now you can find the best brands and fits for you without even trying. Just follow these easy instructions. Step 1, shop a personalized store that does all the work for you by customizing a selection for your taste and body. Step 2, level up your closet with the best brands and fits with little to no effort. Not trying has never looked so good. Introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle, your personalized store. We're so you.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
The custodial team is not
someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Ready for a chicken sandwich that's a kick above the rest? Then Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken has just what you're looking for with the spicy chicken sandwich combo at a great price. The kick you crave is here with a premium all-white meat chicken breast that's spicy marinated and hand-breaded with a kick. Served with creamy chipotle ranch all on a brioche bun, it's the chicken sandwich others aspire to be. Get the chicken sandwich perfected with the spicy chicken sandwich combo at a great price. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Start the new year off right with Menards Bag Sale. Pick up a bag in store and get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag now through January 15th. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it. From light bulbs to tools, snacks, and much more. Fit it in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in store and find out how much you fit in the bag now through January 15th. Available in store only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation. Get back to the phone calls in just about 60 seconds. This Antonio Brown story, man, it's It's weird. Let me ask you this. I don't like talking about other people's mental health. I think that's a buzzword that we use to try to explain odd outbursts. And why is it we only do that with football? Why can we watch baseball and watch these wacko people that come running out of a dugout, attacking a pitcher, trying to throw down? And we just say, oh, well, he threw a ball at his head. These guys, then the pitchers get mad and throw a ball. I mean, think about it. If I was to tell it, if I'm a non-baseball fan and I'm sitting down having someone explain to me what I'm watching, and I watch a guy get pissed and take that ball and throw 100 miles an hour at someone's head, I'm thinking I just witnessed attempted murder.
Right.
You're going to tell me, yeah, it's baseball. That's what they do. Basketball. Who was the player for the Pistons that went chasing LeBron all over the damn Palace? Well, whatever they call it, Little Caesars Arena, whatever it is. Either one. That no-name guy for the Pistons. Did anyone, after watching him lose his mind and have to be held back by the entire bench of his and the Lakers team, did anyone say, man, we need to get him checked out for mental health issues, man? I really hope we got to pray for him. We got to look out for him. No. When we watch David Bell absolutely lose his freaking mind, he goes from quiet, talking, no emotion to snapping.
Isaiah Stewart.
But like when he goes off on these umpires and he goes off, and when you see play, did anyone think Amir Garrett had mental health issues when he went charging at the entire Pirates dugout? No, we said, man, that's tough. That's cool. Good for him. Blah, blah. Why is football I don't want to sound heartless here. I'm never going to use words I don't care. But I'm not worried about Antonio Brown. He makes a lot of these messes himself. But who are we to diagnose him with mental health issues?
Right.
When I make a bad decision, if I say something crazy on this show, people say, Kinder's an idiot. I'm never going to listen again. No one says, man, I wonder if Kinder has mental health issues. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. The point is why is it CTE, the correlation with CTE and football? Is that the only reason we do this?
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's strange to me because I think athletes in other sports act way, way worse than football. For as barbaric, and I hate using that word because I don't find it barbaric, but I'm being dramatic here. As barbaric as a physical sport that football can be, I'm just amazed at how, again, think of baseball. The craziest people in the world to me are baseball players. You throw a ball at someone's head 100 miles an hour because, they flipped a bat. How petty? That's not even petty. That's psycho. Like, you are a sociopath if you think that, because I flipped a bat after hitting a home run, that you're going to throw a ball at my head 100 miles an hour, that's justified. But Antonio Brown gets pissed off at his coach and takes his jersey off, throws it into the stands, and we're doing this whole, man, he needs mental health. He has mental health issues. That's weird to me. I'm not making light of this, although it sounds like it with my tone. But I talked about this with Keith Byers earlier, and the only thing we can come up with is just the correlation of CTE with football players. But I'm telling you, taking the jersey off, throwing it in the stands, and walking off, that's not even, I wouldn't even put that in my top 10 craziest things I've seen. And I need to stop using the word crazy when we're talking about mental health, but you see my point. I've seen way worse things. And I've seen baseball players throw balls at people's head 100 miles an hour. I've seen, people just go off and just straight up just punch somebody in the face. Oh, we don't say he has mental health issues. Isaiah Stewart, not one report after he chased LeBron around that entire arena came out multiple. I mean, it was like a WWE Royal Rumble. He's coming out this entrance. He's coming out that entrance. Not once did I hear someone say, man, that's very scary. I think, I'm praying for him. He has mental health. No, we just say, man, he's had enough of LeBron. What was the topic the next day? Players don't fear LeBron. Isaiah Stewart's a no-name in the NBA, and he doesn't fear LeBron. He was going at LeBron. But if Antonio Brown went charging at the opposing sideline to fight everybody, what's the headlines the next day? Man, we got to pray for him. His mental health issues, this, that. Sometimes you just make bad decisions. There's enough there for us to question it, but I also think it's kind of strange that we just diagnose him with mental health issues and just act like that's the justification for it. I just don't think that's right either.
Speaking on it, for one, in the NBA, we've had that conversation before with Ron Artest. Like, that was a topic of conversation. Like, yo, man, like something's kind of off. He may have mental issues. Same thing happened like with players like Dennis Rodman and guys like that. I think it's a cumulative effect. And with Dennis Rodman and Ron Artest, there were incident after incident. And then when you look at the Antonio Brown situation, there's incident after incident. But then thrown on top of it, you have NFL players that something happens to them in their brain with the whole CTE thing, and nobody knows what's going on because you can't detect this until, unfortunately, they're dead and gone, because you can't cut someone's brain wide open and find the hemorrhaging and everything that goes on inside the brain when you have CTE. The Kansas City Chiefs player, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but committed murder, like, and all these type of things. Like, think about Junior Seau. So I think it's the situation like that. Like, all right, man, like, what's going on here? And I'm a proponent to say, not only does the league need to do something, the players union needs to do something, but more importantly, they can want to do all these things. Antonio Brown himself wants to seek the help that it seems like that he needs. You know what I'm saying? The NFL and the players union could be banging down his door left and right, just like the players union was banging down Josh Gordon's door left and right, but about his addiction and everything like that. You know, people laugh at Josh Gordon and like, oh man, you're addicted to weed. It's just weed and everything like that. Well, people have addictions and everything like that. And just because his addiction happens to be something that you think that is just a recreational thing, still an addiction nonetheless. So the player, or I will just remove the player, the person needs to want the help too. Yep. It can't just be all one-sided. It can't be us in the media or us as fans or the talking heads on ESPN or the league itself or the players union itself. He has to want the help that he apparently needs. So yes, I'm here for the jokes. I'm here for the memes. Like, yes, it was bizarre. It was funny. And then, you know, reality set in because, you know what, in X amount of years, if something happens to him or God forbid something happens to his kids and he's involved in it, we're all going to be like, man, what happened? Dang, that's sad. Like, and nobody wants to feel like that. Nobody, especially nobody close to him, nobody like his former teammates. Like, you heard Tom Brady go on the microphone just saying, like, you know, when Tom Brady talks, people listen. And, you know, just kind of like the things that Tom Brady was saying yesterday, saying like, we need to think about this outside of just football and everything like that. He's right. Like not every player in the NFL has the luxury of being a quarterback where you get breathed on and you don't get touched anymore. You know what I'm saying? And he's taken some wicked hits, and tons of players have taken some wicked hits. And like, man, it appears that something's off. It appears that something is way off with him. Like, is it, you know, like you talked about, we shouldn't be trying to diagnose him. I just don't like doing that. We are not we are not qualified to do so.
Now, if something leaks and says, hey, he's been diagnosed with mental illness, whatever, then it's like, okay, it's understandable. But I think it's kind of dangerous territory for us just to look back and look at his behavior and say it's mental health, because there's just as many different type of athletes in other sports that I'm like, man, why don't we label? I mean, John Rocker. I mean, you can go back and look at all these other athletes and say, why don't we look at them and say that they have issues? Why do we only do that with football players? I know the answer. I'm asking a question. I know the answer to. It's the CTE thing, but that's. But yeah, if
because everybody, I think everybody, include myself, I jumped to, all right, what's the worst that's going to happen here? And we've seen the worst. You know, we've seen situations where, you know, former football players have not only taken their lives, but taken lives of loved ones and then taken their own life. Yep. And nobody wants that scene, because everybody knows that Antonio Brown has like 3 young children. So God forbid something like that happens. Like, nobody wants that. And I think like that's where people, especially like all the former athletes that are on ESPN that are talking about it, nobody wants to see that, man.
No. I get that. But I said, this was mainly about just the perception of athletes. Like, why is it when we see an athlete do something weird in other sports, just chalk it up to being weird, but with football, it becomes more serious. But again, I'm throwing out a question I know the answer to. It was just, I thought it was kind of an interesting view on that. But I saw Mina Kimes, who I think she does a great job. But she tries to tell everyone how they need to deal with COVID, but then says she's getting on people for trying to diagnose him with mental illness. Who am I? I'm just on Facebook and Twitter. I'm not in position to diagnose him with that, Mike, but you try to tell everyone what to do medical advice-wise with other stuff. Anyways, I got sidetracked. I was reading something and my ADD kicked in. I promise you, I want to stay on the Bengals here. 518-1410. If you thought you were going to tune in today and me try to discredit what the Cincinnati Bengals have accomplished, they are the AFC North champions. They have won 10 games. You don't win 10 games by accident in the NFL. I don't care if I found ways to nitpick a lot of the wins and to overblow a lot of the losses. Good teams have lost to bad teams all year, not just the Bengals. The Bengals have losses against the Lions and the Bears and against the Jets and teams like that. You're like, what in the world is going on? Bad endings to games. My big takeaway coming in, if the Bengals would have lost yesterday to the Chiefs, my big takeaway would have been, if they are fortunate enough to make the playoffs, the Bengals would be heading into the playoffs without a win over any team that will be competing in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would have been something to circle. And I think that Bengals fans, you would have been hypocrites to get mad at me for bringing that up, because I think we would have used that example for any other team. If any other team would have had 9 to 10 wins without beating a playoff team, you would have criticized that. So I was ready to come in today and do that. I did not think they were going to beat the Chiefs. Not only did they beat the Chiefs played well.
Right.
It's not like they beat up on a Chiefs team having a bad day. You know what I mean? That was Patrick Mahomes having a great game. It was a shootout. It's exactly what we thought would happen if the Bengals were who we thought they were, and they were. Joe, I'm ripping off a lot of Band-Aids to start the 2022 year. New year, new me. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the AFC North. I'll still take him over Lamar Jackson. Yes, he's better than Baker Mayfield. I held on to that as long as I freaking could, and I'm out of bullets, man. I'm shooting blanks at the moment. So it is what it is. So unless the Steelers go get a Russell Wilson, unless the Steelers find a way to get an Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow will be the best quarterback in the AFC North moving forward for quite some time. So it is what it is. But I'm not here to water it down. I want to make sure everyone is going to enjoy this Bengals playoff run. I think that if there was ever a team to get it done for Cincinnati, it's this one. Are they a year ahead of schedule? You could say that, but when you have 3 1,000-yard wide receivers, when you have a top 5 running back, when you have a quarterback that has now ascended into the MVP conversation and probably would have been one of the favorites to win it had this run started a little sooner, I don't think we can say they're ahead of schedule. I think that they were behind schedule because Joe Burrow missed the back half the last 2 months of last year. If Joe Burrow plays those last 2 months of last year, if T. Higgins gets more time with Joe Burrow last year, and then you add Jamar Chase, and I don't think that they're ahead of schedule, folks. I think they were behind schedule and are now caught up to who they're supposed to be. This is the NFL. You don't get 3 years to rebuild. Okay, Cleveland had expectations in year 2. They didn't live up to it. You didn't have expectations heading into year 2. In regards to this, and you've surpassed those. You're expected to win and to win quickly in the NFL. I don't want to hear that they're ahead of schedule. They're not. They were behind schedule because of the injury, unfortunately, to Joe Burrow. Because the second your name is announced as the number 1 pick or whatever in the NFL draft and you're the quarterback, the clock starts ticking. And that's what my anger was directed towards the Bengals for the longest time, is because there was no urgency to protect him, and they still have failed in doing so. Most sacked quarterback in the NFL, not just 30 sacks. No, he sacked 50 freaking times. That's a problem. That's what's scary. There's still room to grow. You have 3 1,000-yard wide receivers, a top 5 running back, an MVP caliber quarterback. You're doing all of this while your quarterback is throwing the 3rd most amount of interceptions in the league and is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. You improve that offensive line by just 20 freaking %. He cuts those interceptions back significantly, like he already has. He hasn't thrown an interception in weeks, by the way. In weeks. I'm sorry, but everything I said about this team, I'm wrong because of this offense gelling the way it has. You could sit there and say I was wrong for being so critical of the offensive line, and I'm going to tell you that you're wrong for telling me I'm wrong. I had every right to be critical of that offensive line. You didn't have the smarts to be critical of the offensive line because you were too enamored with the sexy name of Jamar Chase. And somehow, some way, everything I argued, I was right about. But to your defense, Bengals fans, everything you argued, you were right about as well. I can't say that it was the wrong pick after watching what Jamar Chase has done for this team. But you also can't tell me I'm wrong for saying that they needed to go Penei Sewell or go offensive line because he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, and the fact that he was limping off the field at the end of that Chiefs game. Now, that may not be because the offensive line is bad. You can have the best offensive line in football and still get hurt. But you know what you're going to get if your quarterback gets hurt behind one of the top offensive lines in football? The benefit of the doubt. You're going to get the whole, injuries happen in the NFL. But when you don't make the O-line priority, now you look like you're responsible for malpractice when it comes to your quarterback. And if something happens against Cleveland this week, and hopefully he doesn't play, okay? He should not be playing this week. If the 1 seed means that much to this organization, by all means, go for it. But at the same time, I think it's kind of silly. You have the AFC North wrapped up. You have a home game in the playoffs, and I think they're going to be favored over anyone that they play in that first round. So I just don't think the 1 seed is that necessary, but we'll see what ends up happening here. The bottom line is, we've argued a ton, Bengals fans. 2021, I mean, you had me fuming. I had you nauseous and sick and ticked off, and you so far. I want to move that to the side because I've always said the Bengals have won 6 games in 2 years. They were bad. I had every right to say they were bad. You just weren't smart enough to say they were bad. But now I've always said when they were good, I was going to acknowledge it. I'm acknowledging it. I'm not here to water it down. It is what it is. Did the Browns? Sure. I don't think the Bengals win the division if the Browns and Ravens are completely healthy like they were supposed to coming in. I don't think that the Browns were overrated. I think that the Browns were injured. I think that the Browns would have been way better had they been healthy. But injuries are part of the game. So the Browns aren't in the equation. I also have a hard time believing that if Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins and that secondary and Humphrey and everyone is healthy for at least 90% of the season, the way the Bengals have been, the Bengals are NFC North crowns, AFC North champions. And that's okay to say. That's not me hating. You guys would even acknowledge that. This roster is not, coming into the year, was not constructed better than the Browns and the Ravens. I still don't think it's as constructed as solid as those two organizations, but I do know this. The Ravens offense on their best day doesn't come close to what the Bengals have. I don't care if Nick Chubb if he, inflates out to be the size of the Hulk. I don't care. On the Browns on their best offensive day, still really good, not better than what the Bengals have offensively. The Bengals have developed into the second best offense in the AFC. Yes, I know they topped the team I'm putting ahead of them. I still got to take the Chiefs, guys. That's not me hating. It's the Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. I can't not pick them yet. But if we see this Joe Burrow and this Jamar Chase and this T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, we see this team, what we've seen the last couple of weeks, if you get that on a weekly basis or at least in every other week basis, they're the most explosive offense in the league. Give them an offensive line. This is the best offense in the league because as good as Patrick Mahomes is, as good as Tyreek Hill is, and as good as Travis Kelce is, those three still do not equate to the explosiveness of what we've seen with a bad offensive line. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they're on their way. They are on their way to being the best offense in the NFL. I'll still take their offense over Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The Bengals have the second best offense in the NFL. It's the Chiefs and the Bengals. I'm not a Bengals fan. I'm not on their bandwagon. I'm acknowledging it. What I've seen the last 2 weeks, I wasn't sold against the Ravens because I chalked it up to, well, they're playing third string practice squad secondary guys. But you still got to make those throws. You still got to catch those passes that are being thrown at your way. You still got to get the yards after the catch. You still got to call the right plays to put them in position to do so. And Zach Taylor and the Bengals did it. I got nothing. I'm not here to hate. I'm here to embrace it. It is what it is. But I'm not going to give you the joy of telling you that you were right and I was wrong. I was right in every criticism I had of this team. They've now surpassed all the criticism because they're clicking on all cylinders right now. And that's all I got to say about that. 518-1410. Let's go to Charlie. Charlie, my friend, how are you, sir? I'm sure you are on cloud nine right now.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year to you as well. You better watch it, by the way. I'm in a good mood. I've given you the roses. What you do with them will dictate who Kidder is the rest of the show. I'm just letting you know. You have that power.
You know what? Let's back up a week because somebody topped you, and his name is Bart Scott. And
Bart Scott went ham, dude. That was nuts. I was like, damn, I don't like Bart Scott. So even I was like, the fact that I was agreeing with him while still disliking him, I was like, man, I hate that I don't want to agree with him. But that's what the Bengals do, man. They disrupt, and they disrupted his way of living. I tell you that much.
I missed it. What happened?
Oh, you didn't see that Bart Scott thing?
No.
Charlie, I'll let you tell him. You waited long enough.
Okay, so basically what he did, Kev Nash, is he said that his defense is now going to have what they know as red dot. And so he basically said that they're going to start targeting Bengals players, which, okay, well, we already know teams in the AFC North target players because that's what happened to our right tackle against Steelers. That's another story. But that's not good for the Ravens because you tell the league that your team targets players because they're mad. Now you have an entire team. The way the officials will look at the Ravens when they play the Bengals, it's like how every official looked at Vontaze Burfict. It's like, we're just waiting on you to make a mistake now because your guys said that you guys target players. Mm-hmm. You do red dot. So I thought that was really stupid on Bart Scott's behalf. And I don't think Joe Burrow is scared at all. What's an old retired guy going to do? It's like if Ray Lewis talked a bunch of trash, it's like, okay, you're old, so
Yeah, someone in that Ravens locker room has to be a leader and come out and say that type of thing. I'm not saying it's the right thing to say, but like, yeah, you're right. Like, he's a former player. Like, he's not even in the locker room. But that is how those guys used to play, though. And he's saying that based on what the mindset of that locker room would have been. Do the Ravens still have those hard hitters? I mean, they have a great defense, but like, this isn't the Ravens of old. This isn't the Steelers of old. I think it's about to be the Bengals division. Unfortunately, it pains me saying that, but I think that the Browns and Bengals are in better position for longer-term success moving forward than the Ravens and the Steelers, assuming that Baker is who I still think he is. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not elite, but I still think he's good enough for them to win football games. I think that the Browns and Bengals, they're in better shape than the other teams moving forward. I know the Ravens have Lamar, but there's still question marks with Lamar, man. Like, I know he's elite, but elite with restrictions, and that's crazy to me.
Justin, I'm proud of you for all your therapy you've been going through.
Well, figure work covers some of it, right? Might as well take advantage of it.
I was listening to you with Keith yesterday, and I was like, man, is this Justin Kenner? Why he's talking about the Bengals like they're a good team, and it was almost like you had no feelings towards them. And there is one more thing, though, that I need you to admit, and you probably won't, but you should, because you're wrong if you don't. The Bengals are not a bad organization, and I need you to say that.
They are a bad organization. Just like the Browns are a bad organization. The Browns built a playoff team.
The Browns are a bad organization. You were right about that. The Bengals are not.
They are, Charlie, Joe, they still didn't prioritize their number one asset. Come on. I'll let you finish. My bad.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah,
we can talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the 20th season of the AFC North. It's the 20th season. We have won 5 AFC North titles in 20 years. That's 25%, and we're 25% of the division. How is it possible that we're bad if we've won our respected amount of division titles? You've won none. So we're not bad. You were bad.
You did it. Dang it. You did it. You pushed a button.
The Ravens have won 6. The Ravens have won 1 more than us.
That's a question you don't need to be asking me, my friend. Like, the popular perception is that they are not a good organization.
It doesn't matter.
Do you realize how bad? But that's the thing, Charlie. And I'm saying this calmly, whether you like it or not. My goal is to say, instead of saying things snarky in 22, I'm just going to say things calmly and just let you guys figure out how to deal with it emotionally. It's a you problem, not a me problem. That's what my therapist said. So here's the deal. Do you realize that, like, the Lions are viewed as a joke of an organization because of all the losing? The Browns are looked at as a joke of an organization because of all the losing. Do you realize that the Bengals have to be a worse organization than the Browns and the Lions? Because you're right. You win a lot, and yet you're still viewed as a bad organization. Like, that's how bad of a reputation you have to have that even, like we always say, winning cures all. That's how bad the Bengals organization is, that winning clearly does not cure all as far as the perception is. Charlie, you're making me say bad things today. My goal was not to do this today. I'm acknowledging how good a job that they've improved this year, but I'm not going to give the organization credit. The organization, I'm not going to give them.
They are a good organization, period.
And that's fine. That's your opinion. That's fair. You're allowed to have that opinion.
They have 5 division titles in the last 16 years.
And that's fine. That's fine. You're not wrong.
You can't be a garbage organization. And
then why are they? but why are they?
Not.
Look, I'm not here to talk about that. Like, I'm not going to back down on it, even though I said I don't want to talk bad about the Bengals. Let's talk about this Bengals team, because you're making me say bad things, and then people are going to tune out because they get pissed off because we got the report back, and everyone gets mad at me because I say too many bad things about the Bengals. So I got to change my ways. So I used the last 2 weeks as a sabbatical to step away to reevaluate myself in the show. And here you are, old demons just coming back, just trying to get in the way, Charlie.
Yeah, because I'm the one Bengals fan that hasn't backed off what I know is a fact, that we are the best team in the AFC North, and you now know that. Because we whipped the Chiefs yesterday.
You are the healthiest team in the AFC North. I don't think you're the best team in the AFC North. You're the healthiest. However, you're really good, though. I don't know why you're getting angry. You're really good. All I'm saying is that I have a hard time believing that if the Browns and the Ravens were both 100%, like 90% healthy at this point.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, though. But that's okay. I'm just saying they're really good. Because the Bengals, when healthy, look who they are. That's all. If the Bengals were losing some of those guys, they wouldn't be as effective. And that's my point. It's the same thing with the Browns and Ravens. Relax, Charlie. I'm not here. I know it sounds like I'm discarding it. Kev, I'm going to let you tag in here. But how am I doing? I'm saying calm. It is what it is. Like, he's getting angry, and I'm not.
I would like to commend Kenner. He's doing a good job. About an hour,
Charlie.
Hour 15 into the new
He's
year.
almost all the way there.
Charlie, see you, man.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, but I'll speak to what Charlie is saying. Yeah, I get what he's saying about the Cincinnati Bengals, the AFC North championships and everything like that. But it's when you have a reputation as an organization that is cheap, like saying like they were like the first team to say like, we don't need to go to training camp. We'll just do it at our own stadium. And now everybody does it because of COVID and everything like that. So now it's not viewed in that way. When you're viewed as an organization that doesn't buy extra jock straps and things of that nature, and viewed as an organization with the least amount of staffing for scouting and everything like that, like that's still a thing. Like that's why Marvin Lewis and everybody commended Marvin Lewis and always had his back because of the obstacles that the Cincinnati Bengals had going on in the front office and everything like that, until there was like a breaking point where like, all right, man, it's time for a new regime down there in Cincinnati. And to not only to his credit, the players' credit, and also this regime of the Cincinnati Bengals, these players, this coaching staff, they've risen up and they've taken advantage. And I've said this as long as I can remember about sports, it's a war of attrition, man. Like the team that kicks off at week 1 is not going to be the same team that ends the season. There's going to be bumps and bruises. People are going to be out for the season. People are going to come and go throughout the season. It is a war of attrition. Like you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they peaked, that lovely word that we love, that peaking at the right time. But also they were the most healthy team when they went up against the Kansas City Chiefs. But guess what? They're not giving back the Super Bowl just because they were more healthy than the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Bengals to either.
So if the Cincinnati Bengals go on a run and magically win the Super Bowl, you think any of Cincinnati Bengals gonna players or the Who Dey Nation gonna be like, oh man, we were the healthiest team, so and so wasn't healthy, here's the Super Bowl, we don't deserve it? They're gonna hoist that bad boy. They're gonna hoist the trophy. They're gonna have a party. They're gonna have a parade. We'll be broadcasting live from down there. We'll have a dunk tape that Kenner will be sitting there.
Kev will. Not there yet. Not there in therapy. I've been in therapy longer.
So like that's the whole thing about it. Like it is what it is. But as far as like going back and forth about them being a good organization or not, it don't matter. They won AFC North. They're in the playoffs. They are in the tournament. They got a chance to win the thing, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, like I said last year, the Browns making the playoffs and winning in the playoffs and doing it on the road and all that, that doesn't change who they are as an organization, because look how fragile things are with the Browns. Like the Patriots, they can experience bumps in the road, and look, one down year and they're right back to being contenders because that's a great organization. Cleveland has one good year and they didn't know how to sustain it. Now, injuries are a big part of that, okay? But at the same time, they're not strong enough of an organization to sustain this. The Bengals have all the talent in the world. I don't know if look, the perception is Zach Taylor. It's been up and down all year, Kev. One week he needs to be fired. Maybe not even 2 weeks ago against the Niners, he needed fired. The same fan base that is now telling me he should win Coach of the Year wanted him fired 2 weeks ago. Like, it's going to be bumpy until they can provide some stability. But the first step is this year.
Right.
Winning the division and making the playoffs, there's only one place to go, and that's taking that next step. The problem is the Browns made the playoffs last year and won in the playoffs. So guess what? There's only one more thing you can do to top that. Make it again. You got to win the division, make the playoffs again, win in the playoffs twice now, or get to a Super Bowl. That's where the Bengals are at now, is heading into next year. There is no moral victories. There is no, oh man, this young core of Joe Burrow and Jamar. No, you got to win now. But you can't have 3 1,000-yard wide receivers, a top 5 running back, a top 5 quarterback with the way Joe Burrow's been playing the last couple of weeks, and then get to use the young excuse if things don't pan out well. I don't think the organization's great. I don't think the Bengals have a great organization. But you know what they have this year? A freaking damn good team. Charlie, let's meet halfway on that. And the only reason I bring up the health of the AFC North is because what you Bengals fans do that irritates me is you have to bring up the Browns. Right, Kev? Like, it has to be, oh man, the Ravens suck, the Browns suck, the Bengals are the best. It's like, okay, I acknowledged how good the Bengals are. But what I'm not going to allow the perception to be is that they dominated which you didn't beat the Browns. The Browns beat you by 20, by the way. But it's not like the Browns were healthy all year, the same as the Bengals. Now, the Bengals had some injuries here and there, but you had Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon missed a few, but you had your core the entire time. And that goes a long way. You think that the Bengals are winning 10 games if you miss Joe Burrow for multiple games, if you miss Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for multiple games, and Joe Mixon with all of those guys? Like, the Browns didn't just have one or two of those guys out. You had whole position groups out. I'm not making excuses, but let's stop acting like they didn't play a role. Okay, that's why I get annoyed. That's why I bring it up. Are the Bengals the best in the AFC North? They're the champs. But I think they're the healthiest team in the AFC North, because I don't think that if forget the Browns. Are the Bengals better than the Browns? If the Browns are 100% and the Bengals are, I think it's one hell of a game. I think it's two different style of offenses going head to head, but two really good defenses, and it's fun. But I can confidently say that with Lamar, with the healthy J.K. Dobbins,
and you hate Lamar,
and a full Lamar with a full offensive line, with Marquise Brown, with the with the additions that they made in the offseason. What's the Purdue wide receiver? I keep
Bateman.
Bateman. I'm saying, if he's healthy all year long. It is what it is. You keep calling it excuses. I keep calling it an explanation, and that's the difference. By me saying that the Ravens are, when healthy, better than the Bengals, by me saying that is not me saying that your team is bad. That is simply me stating that the Ravens are a better team, because I think they're more explosive on both sides of the ball combined. The Bengals are more explosive offensively. That's the difference right now, and that's what separated them. They're damn good. Bengals fans, I'm not here to argue with you today. I'm here to give your team their due. They shut me up. All right, y'all win. They won. They won enough games to win this division. And now we have a meaningless JV Big Ben send-off tonight. And it's going to be painful the whole time. But 518-1410, step away for a few moments. We do have one phone line open, pretty much off full. Appreciate Charlie and everyone that has called in so far. We've talked to Mark. We've talked to Spoon. We've talked to Charlie. We got Willie. We've talked to Rob. We got Bob, I believe, on hold. Jeff is on hold. We'll get to all you guys on the other side. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty when we come back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Do you have standing water, a wet basement, or water in your heat ducts? Hi, this is Jeff Heil from Buckeye Landscaping and Ohio Irrigation and Drainage. At Ohio Irrigation, we have a solution to end your drainage problems. We provide a free custom design and estimate to meet the needs of your home and keep you worry-free when it rains. Call Buckeye Landscaping, Ohio Irrigation, 432-9911, or visit our website, buckeyeindohio.com. That's 432-9911. Stop worrying. Call for a free estimate today.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. Did we mention the part where Wendy's biscuits are hot and buttery?
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, hot and buttery.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Need more hires in the new year? Check out Indeed with Instant Match. You'll receive a list of quality candidates when you sponsor a job. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should.
People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
Shop Mattress Firm's year-end sale and put an end to junk sleep. Save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or shop top-selling brands and get up to 50% off select mattresses, like Sealy twin mattresses starting at $224.99 or Serta twin mattresses at $349.99. And shop with confidence thanks to our low price guarantee. Only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
We're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Need more hires in the new year? Check out Indeed. With Instant Match, you'll receive a list of quality candidates when you sponsor a job. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mainly clear and sunny, a high near 33. Tonight's going to be clear and cold, a low around 22. And tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 42. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29, in-store only. See staples.com/print for details.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
NFL fans, the season is finally here. Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now. Incredible! Good luck.
New year, new me. At least that was what the intention was. Help me out, listeners. I feel like I've been pretty, no, I don't feel like anything. I know I have accomplished what my goal was, which was to, of course, give the Bengals their due. There's no negativity on today's show. And then you got some jackwagon on Twitter who's trying to kill my vibe. Good vibes only in 2022. New year, new me.
Cap.
Like some guy named Jesse Swafford on Twitter says, every single time I turn on ESPN Dayton and Kinner is just running his mouth with negativity and arrogance towards everything. The arrogance I can't shake. Couple more sessions with the therapist, maybe. But until then, the arrogance is here to stay. But the negativity, I feel like I have washed myself of some of that. And he goes on to say that I remember why I never listened to this show. Those are my favorite people. The people that tell everyone they don't listen, all while telling you all the things they don't like about what you say the day that you're saying it. You guys are cute, adorable, and I would be nothing without you morons that like to tell me that you don't listen to the show all while listening to the show. He goes on to say that, well, it is awful. There has to be a better option. There is no other option. We have the best and worst show in town because we have the only show in town. I'm not trying to hide to be someone. We're best and worst show in town. You have no other option. Actually, I hate when people say that. There has to be a better option. It's 2022. That thing you call your cellular device, you can listen to any show and from anywhere in the country. I suggest you do it because apparently I can't make you happy. If I was to, and I'm not going to tweet to him, but if I was to tweet to him, I would call him a name, tell him then fine, don't listen. But I'm not going to do any of that. But I need some of y'all to do it. So his name is Jesse Swafford. It's at JSWAFF19. I need y'all to vouch for me. I have not been negative today, right? Like this is the stuff that makes me be negative is when morons like this come at me and test me. I'm trying to be a better me in 22. Help me, help you, or help you, help me, help you. I don't know how you want to word it. No negativity here. The Bengals are the 2021 AFC North champs. Joe Burrow, and by the way, yesterday, I'll be honest, if there was some negativity, I was laughing and mocking a lot of the analysts that were saying that Joe Burrow was as good, if not better, than Patrick Mahomes. I said, okay, stop. That's really stupid. Stop talking. Well, he's not better than Patrick Mahomes yet. But we see a couple more of these performances that we've seen the last 2 weeks and the head-to-head yesterday. I didn't feel like we were watching one really, really good quarterback and one up-and-coming quarterback. I felt like we were watching the two best young quarterbacks in the NFL, or two of the best. Joe Burrow's one of the best. Patrick Mahomes is the best. Joe Burrow is officially one of the best. I didn't feel like I was watching 1A, and I didn't feel like I was watching 1 and 2 yesterday. I felt like I was watching 1A and 1B. Like, that's how good Joe Burrow was yesterday. So you can go wipe your ass with that take of my negativity on this show today. There's some sprinkled in now because of you, Jesse Swafford. Give him a tweet. Let him know that he sucks. Jesse Swafford, JSWAFF19 on Twitter. Let him know that he sucks. Trying to ruin the show today. Trying to ruin my mood. Trying to ruin my vibe. Man, having that. Kev, have I been negative?
No, you haven't been negative. You've been very good. I know we talked.
I only told someone to kiss my ass twice. That's very good. An hour and a half in.
Yeah, a whole hour and a half into the new year of the new show and everything like that. You know, we talked off air. We talked over the vacation and everything like that. You were taking a social media break and everything like that.
I retweeted a couple times. But by the way, if you check the drafts on my phone, there's like 1,000. But that's my coping day. Like, so I start to tweet, start to call people names, and then I hit save draft in case I need it for later, and then I can move on with my day. So
Hooper and I even text you because, you know, you were doing the whole moving thing, and then Hooper, him and I were texting like, man, have you heard from Kenner? Like, nah, I haven't heard from him. And then you was like, yeah, you were like, you know, what LeBron called it, 0 dark 30. You turned off your devices, man. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you.
This is what it is. I got that show, How to Get Away with Murder, which with my temper, I shouldn't be saying I watched that show because people are like, oh, because something happens, I'll be the first suspect. But like I have the weirdest crush on Viola Davis.
She has a new movie out with the actress from Speed, Sandra Bullock.
She's in that. Oh yeah, it just came out on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
I don't know what it is. I have the biggest crush on her. She is a freaking badass. Her character in How to Get Away with Murder, I would put her character. I'm not putting the show with Breaking Bad, but I will take her character and put it right up there with Heisenberg. It's that good. She is that good. And I find her very attractive for an older lady. I have no clue why, but I have a huge crush on her because she's mean and like she just scares the hell out of you. And I'm like, I can appreciate that. I have the biggest crush on Viola Davis. I don't get it, but I love the show, and that's what I did. So that's how I got through my break of just trying to disassociate from social media, and here we are.
Since we're on a full TV detour, new show that I'm watching is called Mayor of Kingstown. It's on Paramount Plus. Super good. It's about a small town or whatever that their whole business is prison. And they have like a fixer. Like he's not a cop, he's not a criminal, but he fixes things. He's like the go-between between the prisoners and the guards and the drug dealers in town and everything like that. Very good. Very good. 9 episodes in so far. The 10th episode comes out next week. So season finale comes out next week. You'll love it. So
it's still going.
Yes, it's still going. One more episode to go. But we watched probably like 5 episodes in one day, then the other 4 the next day. It was good. Real good. Very good.
All right. So those people who are wanting to know that guy's Twitter handle, I just put it in the chat. Head to Facebook. You see in the chat. Go get him. I need y'all to vouch for me. I've complimented your team today. I do feel bad. A lot of you were concerned that I was going to ruin the experience of your team winning the AFC North. Not even as someone as horrible as me could do that to you. Because, again, in the NFL, Kev, you don't win on accident, man.
Yeah,
like you don't.
You gotta go out there and take it.
You'll get lucky in a few games here and there. You'll win some games you shouldn't. But the NFL, it's the ultimate equalizer. You're going to win games you shouldn't, but you're going to lose games you shouldn't as well. The Bengals lost to the Jets and lost to the Bears. They had no business losing that game. But then again, there's not a whole lot of games that they should have won that they shouldn't.
Yeah,
you got that talent, man. Like I'm telling you, I'm being pro Bengals here. I'm not a fan. I still don't like your quarterback. Joe Burrow makes me uncomfortable. He has this fake tough guy thing to him, but wins don't lie, the stats don't lie, and production don't lie. So he could do his awkward dancing. He could do his weird tough guy routine. But you know what?
Smoking the cigars.
The cigars are cool. I like smoking cigars. I became a big cigar fan in the last year and a half. So, but good for Joe B. Good for the Bengals.
Once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye, baby.
Unless you're Quinn Ewers and Tate Martell and Urban Meyer, apparently. Holy moly. All right, 518-1410. Kev, who we got on 2?
Bob.
Bob, how are you, my friend?
Hey, gentlemen.
Bob, do you have a Twitter? I have a feeling if you do, I think I know who this is on Twitter. I think it's you. Is your Twitter handle JWAFF19?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right, fair enough. But how are you, man? Thanks for being patient.
I'm doing good. Hey, one thing I won't let you do, though, and this is one thing I don't really understand about you, is you've been getting on the Bengals all year about being inconsistent, correct?
Yep.
What did you expect of them coming into this year?
What do you mean what I expect of them?
Well, that's your question. What did you expect of a team that won 4 games last year?
I expected them to win around 6 to 7. I thought that they would actually win. I did not think they would be good at home because if you look at the schedule, if you look at all, you have the Chiefs at home, you had the Niners at home. I did not think that they would beat the Ravens and the Steelers. I thought that the Steelers would be vastly improved. I thought they regressed. I thought that the Ravens would be the Ravens, but they just destroyed them. I did not think that they, you know what I mean? Like I thought that they would not have success at home. I said my crazy take was that the majority of their wins would all come on the road. I did not think they would play well at home. I did not think that they would win 10 freaking games. I definitely didn't think they'd make the playoffs. I didn't think they'd win the division. I definitely did not think Joe Burrow would be an MVP caliber quarterback. And I did not think that as good as I thought Jamar Chase could be, I did not think that he would be Justin Jefferson. And I said when they drafted him, I said, if he's not Justin Jefferson, I'm not going to give him any credit for this draft pick. And he's better than Justin Jefferson. So they've surpassed all my expectations coming in. I also thought Zach Taylor would hold them back. And I know this sounds crazy, Bob. I actually think he has held them back at times, as good as they've been. I think he could be one of their weak links. I'm not going to discredit everything he's done because it's tough to win in this league, but I still think they could do better at the head coaching position. But at the same time, I think that they've done everything that you could ask of them. You can't control that the Browns are banged up and injured. You can't control that the Ravens are banged up and injured. The only thing you control is beating the teams in front of them. And they did that enough times to win this division. I'm not here to rain on your parade, Bob. I'm here to give them their flowers, man.
Oh, yeah. But here's my point. I was going.
You have some up your sleeve, though.
No,
Satan.
No. 4-win team.
Okay.
Quarterback coming off ACL surgery. who had the yips in the offseason, right? Remember, he was even afraid to step up and throw the ball. He was having them issues. So to look at him and to look at the Bengals and say, well, you should have beat Chicago, you should have beat this team, you should have beat. No, you shouldn't have. They were exactly where they needed to be. At that point, who knew what the Bengals were? Chicago was like the second game of the year. You didn't know what they were at that particular point.
You beat the Vikings. You start the season 5-2. You lost that during your good stretch.
No.
Yeah,
that
actually.
Still doesn't matter. You're still finding yourself. That doesn't mean anything.
Finding is the NFL. There's no finding yourself. Patrick Mahomes didn't have to find himself. He was Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and Kansas City had Alex Smith, and they were already a good team before he took over. They were a playoff team. The point I'm making.
You had T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon. What do you need to find? Find the open guy and throw it to him. That's what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were also the guy that had the guy on that said the Bengals failed the offseason. So that's garbage. That's garbage. They had to build. And I'm saying what I'm saying is they had to build into what they needed to be. I was like you. I'm looking at if they had an 8-win season, doubled the 4, I was good. Remember we talked about that? I said that was house money. I would have been good with that. Just show some improvement. And I thought, yes, you're a year away. You're a year away. But the point I'm trying to make is to say, oh, well, you even made the dumb comment a couple of weeks. Oh, they're the biggest disappointment. Because you got some players, okay, but you're building as a team. You still don't know what they are.
Building as a team. This is the NFL. Like you don't get 2-3 years to build. Like you figured out. Everyone else figured the Bills. Everyone else figures out quickly. Browns figured out quickly. Everyone else figured out quickly.
No, they don't. The Browns were 0-16 and what? Justin, what do you think? Listen,
16. You give them talent, they won games. It's that simple. Baker Mayfield didn't need to figure it out.
Did the Bengals fail the offseason? Did you not have a guy on there that said they failed? And you agreed?
Brent Sobleski with Bleacher Report said they failed the offseason. Yes, I 100% feel that I will move my take on that slightly. Hold up, Bob. I'm going to say it calmly because at the time, and by the way, and I still think anyone is got to be nice. It's 22. I'm trying. No, forget it. Anyone that thinks that they did a great job at the time is foolish. Like at the time, like you still failed protecting Joe Burrow. He's been sacked 50 plus times. And just because, and like, by the way, this is like if you have a buddy that likes to drive drunk, I hate when I hear people say this. Oh, man, yeah, he's fine. He's a good drunk driver. No one's a good drunk driver. You're only a good drunk driver until you get busted for a DUI or until something stupid happens like an accident. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't have a good offseason. Just because Joe Burrow hasn't had his legs snapped in half yet doesn't mean that they address the offensive line and address protecting him. So I'm not going to – you can't sit there and say just because he hasn't got hit by the cops yet that he hasn't got – that he's a good drunk driver. Just because he hasn't had his legs snapped in half doesn't mean that the Bengals did enough to protect him.
You're at your time. Man.
I get 3 hours. This is my time.
Exactly. So let me talk.
You ask me a question, mofo, and then I answer it, and you have a problem with it.
And then you're still talking. Let me finish.
I didn't know I had a time limit on my show on how long I had to answer a question.
If you want me to hang up, I'll hang up, dude.
I'll do it for you. 518-1410. Like, come on, y'all are testing my patience today. I give the Bengals credit, and then he calls in and says, well, you said last offseason they failed the offseason. Yes, I did. How many times have I said I was wrong today? What do you want from me? You want me to bathe in all of my comments that I made that were wrong about this team? This team is only a talking point because it was a surprise to you. Can't be a surprise to people if you expected it to happen. No one expected this to happen. So, again, and Bob, he calls all the time, but he had an attitude today. And I'm like, no, stop. You asked me a question. I answered it. I'm being calm today. I'm hanging up even in a calmer way. What, Kev?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing, dude. Like,
well, I'm going to hang up. Like you're threatening me. You threaten me. I threaten you. I'll hang up on you. You don't hang up on me.
Bob, we appreciate you.
He knows I appreciate it, but he ain't going to talk to me like that. He just sits there and okay.
You were doing excellent. And you're still doing pretty decent.
Testing me, and there's summer wins.
Yeah, Bob definitely won.
Joe B is the best quarterback in the AFC North. Arguably, I said before that Justin Herbert was better than him. I'm going to rescind that. I think that they're as good as one another, but I'll give the edge to Burrow. I think that what helps
one more time.
Herbert. But I think what helps Burrow is that he has more weapons than Herbert. I think that it's easier for Burrow to be Burrow when you have more weapons than Herbert and those guys. However, the throws he's making are tough throws. They're accurate throws. They're right in the numbers. They're right in their hands. Like, Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the AFC North. probably the second, in my opinion. I'll take him over Josh Allen. I think he's the second best quarterback in the AFC right now. Okay. I have rescinded my take on that. I was wrong about Joe Burrow. Okay. I am not wrong about the approach to the Bengals offseason. However, $200 million on that defense, and it's worked. That was vastly improved. I admitted I was wrong about the defense a long time ago. I said that I was not sold on Jamar Chase. I had every right to say that at the time, Kev. After that Ravens game in mid-October, he went a month and a half without even coming over 60 total yards in a game. Like he was dropping I wasn't wrong for being critical of that. Now he's having these breakout games. Everyone's like, oh, what do you have to say now? Now I have to say he's really good. I said he wasn't playing well when he wasn't playing well. Now I'm saying he's playing really well. I don't know what they want from me, man. Like I'm trying really hard here. They're making it very, very difficult.
So I'll say this about, no, not even Chase. This has absolutely nothing to do with Chase. This has everything to do with Kansas City and what they decided to do on defense. Part of the reason why Chase started having quiet games and then T. Higgins started having these explosive games and everything like that, because they started doubling them and say, you know what, dude? Nope. We saw what you did versus Steelers. Mm-hmm. We saw what you did versus the Ravens. Saw what you did versus the Steelers twice.
Move your camera up.
We're not going to let you do it. We're not going to let you do it. We're going to put doo-doos over there. We're going to make sure we're going to put a corner on you, and then we're going to put Minka Fitzpatrick over you, and we'll just suffer the consequences. And oh boy, did they with T. Higgins. So Kansas City, they played them straight up. They played them straight up.
Try to change it.
They played them straight up.
Time.
They played them straight up. Said, forget what we saw on film. We're good. We're going to go straight up with some average corners at best. It ain't like you got Revis out there. Ain't like you got Jalen Ramsey out there. And for goodness sakes, the third down that they converted, I mean, it was pitch and catch. When you go solo with a talented receiver like that, it's pitch and catch, man. This is 7-on-7, man. And, it's been a lot made about, the whole LSU thing and them having chemistry. Obviously, they have a ton of chemistry and everything like that. But for the people that say, like, yeah, that's what you need to start doing, drafting guys that played together in college, that is a glaring example, because
I thought that was a bad take, too. I was wrong about that.
Soon as they saw one-on-one, he just was like, well, if they're going to do one-on-one, I'm going to throw it to him every time.
He was like, go Tigers at that point. He always says go Tigers at that point.
Yeah, like dude, okay, well, we know exactly what to do. We played 2 years together in college. We're basically through an entire season in NFL. You're going to go one-on-one? Your problem, first down. Your problem, touchdown. Like, that's just dumb. And all credit to the Bengals because, hey, man, you're going to give it to them. They're going to take it. It's the NFL. So, KC, whatever that bleep you were doing on defense, if they match up with y'all in the playoffs, I can't imagine anybody. I don't think anybody's done that since week 3. Yeah.
The Ravens.
So week 4.
So, and let's be clear. You could even argue with me and say, well, Kenner, I don't think Jamar Chase was playing poorly after the Ravens game. I just think he put people on notice in that first Ravens game. They defended him different, and they did.
Yeah. And then T. Higgins started getting off.
And then T. Higgins emerged. And then Tyler Boyd was complimenting, and then Joe Mixon. By the way, I spent so much time bragging about Nick Chubb and the Browns running offense. All of a sudden, I look up, I'm like, well, damn, as good as Nick Chubb has been, Joe Mixon has more yards on less carries. He's been healthier, more efficient. And I'm like, holy crap, we're talking T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and like there's their running back and Joe Mixon just having himself a season. Look, at the end of the day, I have no clue. I think, and here's the deal. You want to talk about needing time to adjust and needing time to adapt. I think that in Bob's defense, he has been used to hearing me say things about his team so long that he doesn't know how to hear a compliment.
I think what it is partially, in respect to all the Cincinnati Bengals fans and Bob, they wanted you to come on here.
And they're pissed at me today because you're right. I agree.
They wanted you to come on and hate so they can come on and talk their stuff. And now that they can't,
you see what
they still want to talk their stuff.
You see what I did now?
Little reverse psychology.
Wait till tomorrow. No, I'm just joking. Look, I've said before that I don't know how you could watch, even for you diehard Browns fans that don't want to give the Bengals any credit. How can you watch that offense and try to find something negative to say? You can't. They're that damn good. I'm a believer. I don't like it. I don't like the Bengals. I'm not a Joe Burrow fan, but I know he's damn good. And by the way, when I say I'm not a Joe Burrow fan, not Joe Burrow the man. What that dude does for charity, for all that stuff, dude, good, whatever. I hate Joe Burrow, because that was supposed to be the Browns. That was supposed to be Baker Mayfield. All the excitement about the Bengals offense opening up when OBJ got to Cleveland, what we're watching with Jamar Chase, that was supposed to be Cleveland. Now I'm sitting here making excuses for I jump for joy when Baker eclipses 200 total yards in a game. Maybe it's jealousy. I don't know. But new year, new me. Not here to ruin this experience. Bob, you want to call in with an attitude and focus on all the negative things I've said about this team in the past. That's more power to you. But you called in, you asked a question. You got mad that I didn't answer it in the amount of time that you wanted me to. I talk for a living. So, of course, if you think I'm going to answer anything quickly, not going to happen. So, yeah, Bob, call back. If, Bob, you call back right now, I will get you back on, and we'll finish our conversation, and I'll give you a chance to be an adult. Bob's good people. I'm just giving a hard time. 518-1410. Nope, it's that time. We got to step away for a few minutes. But, yeah, is what it is. All right. Let's go to the Facebook feed a little bit. Chris Lindsay on Facebook says, Kenner, I know what they want from you. They want you to say that stupid chant they stole. Give them what they want. A big old hoo-day. Hoo-day.
You way better than me.
They won the division. That's tough to do.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, I gave them their props. I gave them respect. I respect them. I respect their team. But I ain't going to say that phrase.
Joe Burrow, a top 10 quarterback. I laughed at that. Remember at the beginning of the season when the three receivers said, oh, man, we could have three 1,000-yard wide receivers? I laughed at that. Joe Mixon said, oh, I'm so glad Frank Pollock is here. I'm going to have a great season. I laughed at that. The Bengals won 6 games in 2 years. Oh, they're gonna take the league by storm. I laughed at that. I was wrong. It's okay to admit you're wrong. Bengals said you need to admit when you're wrong from time to time. If Bill Kenner could do it, I know you can. But I'll give him a hoo-day. It is tough to win the division. It's tough. And it is what it is. But I'll give him that. But I'm not doing it again. As I saw the disappointment in Kev's face, I realized I overstepped. I shouldn't have gone that far.
Just give them their props. Give them their props. Salute them. But I ain't going that far.
Damon Hahn on Facebook says, Justin, this is what I've been saying to all my friends all season. Just because we are being successful does not mean we have arrived. All the hits Joey B has taken will catch up again. I think you have arrived. I disagree with that. I think you have arrived. I think you showed signs of it in that 5-2 start. You showed the signs of being a young team in dropping 2 of your next 6. But you know what the great teams do, Kev? You know what the good teams do? This is the most pressure-filled part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Teams crumble at this time of year. And y'all flipped that switch and showed you belong. They've arrived. But you're right. I don't think that they're going to be for real until that O-line gets fixed. But I'm not here to start the 2020 off-season debate again. I'm just here to say who they are right now. Like, despite having the piss-poor offensive line, despite him having the third most interceptions in the NFL, despite all of that, AFC North champs. That's all you can ask for. I'm not here to rain on that. It is what it is. I got nothing. It is what it is. 518-1410. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash. We'll be back in a moment. Bob, come on.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
This is Matt Crowder live at the Shell station on 41st Street, reporting on the free gas app called Get Upside that's letting people all over the country earn cash back on every gallon of gas they buy. Excuse me, miss. Have you heard of the Get Upside gas app?
Of course. People are earning as much as $300 a year with the Get Upside app. It's so easy. Open the app to see nearby gas stations offering money back, pick the one you want, and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside gas app and earn up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder, Radio News Network.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to earn up to 25 cents a gallon cash back when you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY for a 50 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Get up to 75 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill up when you download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TODAY. Promo code TODAY.
It's better breakfast o'clock at Wendy's. Get hot and buttery breakfast biscuits made with bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese. So don't risk it. Get a Wendy's biscuit sandwich. Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, there is a nice piece of stock music playing behind me that a talented composer worked really hard on. So let's enjoy it. Wow, almost overshadows the saving big when you switch to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with the Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Right now, people are home with their pets more often, and I think now, especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue. And Dynovite has helped tremendously in our house with that.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
The Dynovite, the being at home, working with them, they all love it. Me and Chewy are together 24/7.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
DINOVITE.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Do you have standing water, a wet basement, or water in your heat ducts? Hi, this is Jeff Heil from Buckeye Landscaping and Ohio Irrigation and Drainage. At Ohio Irrigation, we have a solution to end your drainage problems. We provide a free custom design and estimate to meet the needs of your home and keep you worry-free when it rains. Call Buckeye Landscaping, Ohio Irrigation, 432-9911, or visit our website, buckeyeindohio.com. That's 432-9911. Stop worrying. Call for a free estimate today.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Start the new year off right with Menards Bag Sale. Pick up a bag in store and get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag now through January 15th. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it. From light bulbs to tools, snacks, and much more. Fit it in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in store and find out how much you fit in the bag now through January 15th. Available in store only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Shout out to Jake Whiting, who had my back on all Twitter. Even Shaw went out. And I think the guy deleted his tweet, by the way. He deleted it. I got to go through. Nope, still there. Nope. This page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. Nah, he's a coward. He deleted it. That's right. Shaw. Thank you, Shaw. Thank you, Jake Whiting. A few I see. I'm going to go through and I'm going to give everyone a shout out that did it. I got to go. Loop them all in. 518-1410. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Tim's Bar and Grill on Brown Street, and Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Appreciate everyone who tunes in weekdays from 3 to 6. We're back at it after about 10 plus days off the holiday break. You are laughing. What's so funny?
You just mentioned it. After being off for 10 plus days and everything like that, you get back to work and you forget like some of your responsibilities. I forgot to post the the show on the website. So just 2 hours late.
Not a big deal. Some people, they haven't got back into the groove of things for their 10-day break from 2 years ago. So it don't matter. To be fair.
True.
All right. We haven't even gotten into the Rose Bowl yet. How about that game? Utah fans, they cracked me up.
Did they slide in your DMs?
Oh, they were waiting on me, but I was waiting on them. All right. So the second the game was done, because I had so many people say they're going to kick Ohio State's ass. I'm like, listen, I never said Utah was bad. I just said that the matchup was just kind of Like when I heard they were playing Utah, I was just like, I don't get all warm and fuzzy inside for Utah, even though I knew Utah was a good team. But, when you're Ohio State, I don't think you wake up saying, man, I just dream of playing Utah in the Rose Bowl one day. I just don't. It is what it is. But I said, here's the difference. And, they were trying to convince, oh, man, Utah's a big secret. I'm like, yeah, well, continue not telling anybody because no one wants to hear it. People keep saying Utah's the secret that no one's ever heard of. I'm like, what are you talking? Stop saying weird things, Utah fans. Like, stop. I just learned you had fans not even a month ago, and now you're saying weird things like it's the best kept secret that no one's ever heard of. Like, okay, we're done here. I'm not having this conversation with you. But then after they lost, it was, are you kidding me? I bet now you know who Utah is. I'm like, I've always known who Utah is. I just never cared who Utah is. I still don't care who Utah is. And then I would go on to say that, they both teams played damn equal. Ohio State and Utah played damn equal. That's why 48-45. It took four full quarters to beat them. But this is the difference in the standards of the programs. You have both programs played dead even. And one fan base feels like their team played really, really bad, and that's the team that won. And then you have one fan base that feels their team played really, really well, and they lost. That's the difference in the standards of the programs. That Ohio State, playoff or bust, championship or bust type program, put 48 points up on the board. I mean, in Jigba, good freaking Lord, my dude. Like, my goodness. CJ Stroud. For all you people out there that kept trying to come at me and say, it's a problem that Ohio State lost Quinn Ewers. When you're Ohio State, you don't lose Quinn Ewers. There just wasn't a spot for Quinn Ewers. I've said this from the beginning. Quinn Ewers didn't leave because he was a coward. Quinn Ewers didn't leave because everyone's like, well, he should have stayed to battle it out before he transferred out. Battle what out? Sometimes there's not a job to battle it out for. And then if you watch CJ Stroud play, you finally realize that, oh, yeah, there was no job open. CJ Stroud was never close to losing his job. I mean, you got to understand, the dude nearly threw for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns his last 2 games combined. And they almost were 0-2 in their last 2 games because of the defense. That was the problem. So even after they beat Utah, I was like, man, good for them. Not a lot of teams get to end the season with the win. Not a lot of teams who lose 5 NFL prospects who opted out to play end the season with the win. They still got to win against a good Utah team. Good for Utah. But Ohio State, I didn't feel good about that win. I felt good that they won. But I'm like, man, as good as Ryan Day, this team has gotten better and better under Ryan Day offensively and recruiting-wise. But they have continued to decline defensively every year. That's a problem. I'm not hitting panic yet, but if we have another season like this where we look like a Big 12 team, super high-powered offense and a defense that can let anybody beat you, that's a problem and a concern. I'm not worried yet, but if I see this crap again, that stuff's getting old. I'm not blaming Ryan Day because it's tough to find that coach that is going to be perfect on both sides of the ball, but you shouldn't be this poor on one side of the ball either. Your thoughts on the Rose Bowl?
Oh, man, what a tremendous comeback for the Buckeyes. Obviously, as Buckeye fans, we want to beat everybody by 35 points, but that just ain't the reality. We have so many guys opt out and questionable situations going into the game, especially on defense. So I'm looking at the game. The 3 best players on the field, obviously, without a doubt, was our quarterback, CJ Stroud, our wide receiver, Smith and Jigba, and a guy that decided to go to Utah over Ohio State, their cornerback. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. All I can remember is his number because he had like 2 tackles for loss from the cornerback position. From somehow that happened. He had that forced fumble on Smith and Jigba, who was running scot-free to the end zone and had an interception. So those are the 3 best players on the field. And it was an outstanding game, especially if you were just a fan of football. Remove if you're an Ohio State fan or a Utah fan. If you were just sitting down to watch the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day, you got your money's worth. The other thing, oh my goodness, this defense. If you thought the defense was bad in week 1 versus Minnesota, where that dude, the running back, was getting loose and was probably going to rush for 200 yards before he got hurt.
Oofa.
And if you think the defense was bad watching it versus the team up north where they did go for over 200 yards rushing, oh my goodness, you haven't seen anything yet, because this defense, oh my goodness. And Kenner, you know, I'm not the horn tooting guy out here, but I've been saying this for the last 2 years that we've been on this show together. The linebackers stink. And the simple fact that we had a former running back, Steel Chambers, as a starter, and then in the Rose Bowl, we had a tight end starting at linebacker in Stover. That says, hey, the recruiting or evaluating or development of the linebacker core has been subpar, because there's several seniors, several upperclassmen who got on the field. Number 3, he got on the field and then got trucked by a quarterback. Not trucked by a Tim Tebow quarterback, trucked by a quarterback that weighs probably 200 pounds. And he took it 60. So, look, man, I don't care what anybody says about, oh, man, we need to get rid of this defensive coordinator, this defensive person, yada, yada, yada. We've made changes on the defensive staff and everything like that. Ohio State, talent-wise, they don't have it on defense. They just don't. Just look yourselves in the mirror and admit it. The talent ain't there, dog, because it's upperclassmen who couldn't crack the field. It's upperclassmen who couldn't get on the field. They had dudes changing positions to play in the Rose Bowl, to play in that game with that team up north, because the dudes that they had weren't good enough. So we can make the defensive changes. We can bring in the guy from Oklahoma State who had a pretty good defense while he was there, coordinating and everything like that. But we need more talent on defense. So the guys that came in this year, I know a guy reclassified and he was going to be a senior this year. Now he's going to be a freshman at Ohio State this year. Hey, man, you might be playing this year, bro. You might be starting this year at the Ohio State, because the linebacker core, it wasn't a linebacker core this year. It was just a turnstop. It was a turnstop, and they got fat off of bad opponents. And when they went up against some slobber knockers, that team up north, they got handled. When they went up against Minnesota, the first game of the season, they got handled. And when they went up against Utah, they got handled. Yeah, they only gave up 10 points in the second half, but you know, when their quarterback got concussed and was knocked out the game, we went down there and scored and we go up 7. Obviously, every Ohio State fan out there is thinking like, all right, man, we got the backup quarterback in there. And then on the broadcast, they bring up some great notes about this quarterback. He's a former walk-on. He's a former high school wrestler. I don't know about you, Kenner, but all the former wrestlers that play football, most of them dudes are defensive lineman, offensive lineman. One of my best friends, I've known him since we were in first grade. He wrestled and played on the D-line. Like, that's what those dudes do. We're good with the hands and all that type of stuff. So automatically, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, pick 6 coming up, baby. We're going to ice it with a pick 6. No. And guess what? Dude never threw a pass in college football before and drove down the field and tied up the Rose Bowl. And then, of course, the offense had to bail them out again. Look, man, let the Buckeyes from here to kingdom come. Fix the defense.
The offense had Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson sit out. They didn't miss a beat.
Right.
The defense, I know you missed a guy there, but like,
it wouldn't have mattered. He wasn't no good when he was playing.
Like, it is what it is at this point. No, it's not. It is what it is. It needs to stop. Ryan Day's the guy, so it all's going to go on his lap. But like, okay, fine. The offense could overcompensate for to a certain extent, but here's the problem. This is what I've always said about the Big 12. This is why people stop believing in Oklahoma and teams like that over time, is because we know Oklahoma year in and year out has an offense that can compete with anybody. Their offense, more years than not, can go against Ohio State's and Alabama's and LSU's and whatever. But where Oklahoma, where teams separate themselves from Oklahoma, is any offense in the country could dice up Oklahoma's defense year in and year out. And we've mocked that as Buckeye fans for years. Come playoff time, come Selection Sunday, what do we do to discredit teams? Oklahoma, that's fine, but they can't stop anybody.
Big 12,
they can't stop anybody. Oh, the SEC, yeah, they have great offense. What about those defenses? They can't stop anybody. And yet here we are, and we couldn't stop our hand if it was coming to slap us in our own face. I mean, it's embarrassing and it's not acceptable. And here's the deal. I'm not going to accept excuses, because that's how you become in Oklahoma. A great program, great offensive identity, and you lose every year because of your number one flawed defense. I don't want Ohio State to be known for a team that doesn't have good defense. You've always been known as that team that's had that defense. I'm not going to put up with excuses or, well, you got to understand this. No, I don't want to understand. Like Alabama doesn't have to worry about these other programs, these elite programs. There's no one needs to understand anything because they are who they are. Ohio State, you are who you are. Figure it out. Get this defense figured out. James Laurinaitis, I love what Brian Hartline has done with wide receivers at Ohio State. Former Buckeye. That's his position. How cool is that? That's what makes that even more special. Laurinaitis, okay, works for the Fan over in Columbus. Obviously does a lot of TV stuff, Big Ten Network, stuff with Fox, does a great job. He just took the linebacker job today at Notre Dame over there. What are we doing? Like, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is to me, because it's like, get guys that are going to take pride and bring him back what Ohio State has been known for. When I grew up, it was all about the linebacker, man.
Silver bullet defense, man.
A guy that, I love Bobby Carpenter. He was one of my favorite players growing up. So the fact that I get to hang out with him and interview him and get to know him like that, like, it's badass for me. I love it. Who are the linebackers today that kids are going to grow up to? Man, I will have to hang out with that guy one day. Nobody. No, I'm going to pretend I don't know that guy if I see him on the street. No, I'm not going to take personal shots at these guys. But the bottom line is, it's not acceptable. This isn't a this year problem. This has been steadily getting worse since Urban's last year. And that was the year that we had 50 put on him by Purdue, that had 50 put on him by Maryland that year, that Dwayne Haskins year. And then it's been Ryan Day ever since. Then they got better defensively for 1 year.
That defense was outstanding. And I was having this conversation.
Chase,
that's what I was going to say. That's what I was talking to my brother about. Like, you can run that vanilla scheme with the one high safety when you have four dudes that are going to be playing in the NFL, like Jordan Fuller, you got Okuda, you got Damon Arnett, even though his situation with the Raiders, you got Chase Young, like, you just Baron Brown, you just got dudes all over the place. You can just go out there and whatever defense we call it's going to work. And that's basically what they were doing. Outstanding. Love it. But you know what? That's like 3-4 years ago now. And those dudes ain't coming back. So you need to restack on the talent. So whatever Coach Day and the staff are doing on offense, as hard as you're working on offense to get all these 5-star receivers and all these guys that are catching the ball and running the ball and throwing the ball, I need twice as much effort put on the defensive side of the ball. I need the defense fixed. Now, of course, this isn't 1985 where you're going to be pitching shutouts left and right. I know that. Like, teams are going to score. It's set up for them to score. I got it. It's cool. It is what it is. I'm not tripping on that, especially when you're a high potent offense like this. You score, your defense is going to be on the field a lot more than your offense because they score so quickly. I got it. I'm not even tripping on that. But the simple fact that the defense didn't get any better at all, like, people are going to say, oh, they had this stretch in the middle of the season. Look, man,
you could hide in the Big Ten. As crazy as that sounds, that's not crazy. You can hide in the Big Ten because there's not a lot of prolific offenses in the Big Ten.
Right, but my whole point is week one, from the word go, they was bad on defense. From the word go.
But we were focusing on C.J. Stroud's debut, who didn't look that good, who had 300-plus yards and multiple touchdowns, and we were too busy critiquing that.
Yeah, and then when we needed them the most to get a stop because the offense said, they got slowed down because when you go up against a defense that's pretty good, like that team of North's defense is, you're gonna get slowed down some. You're not gonna score 40 a game. Like, oh man, we had to punt. Oh my goodness! But when your defense can't get a stop ever, that's a problem, man. So I'm obviously happy they won. happy that Smith and Jigba had a career game. I was texting with my best friend during the game. I was like, Smith and Jigba is going to have to break some records for us to win this game. And he shattered Keyshawn Johnson's record. And it's funny enough, man, I remember watching that Rose Bowl and watching what Keyshawn did to Northwestern in that bowl game, man. And it was pretty cool to watch that, man. So shouts out to the Buckeyes. The season is officially over. We are Rose Bowl champions. Guys, take a little break, take a little couple weeks off, and then we get back to business. Coach Mick trained those guys up. Then we got spring ball, so we implement the new scheme on defense. Maybe hit the transfer portal, see if we can get some guys at linebacker. Then we go from there. OH.
All right, 518-1410. We've talked Bengals. We've talked Buckeyes. We've talked it all, and we'll continue talking it all, and we'll hear what you have to say. 518-1410. Jake, I know you. Jake, welcome. It's been a while, my friend. How are you?
It's been a while, but first, can I get a who day real quick?
No, you got. I did it once. You're not going to take advantage of this. You're not going to abuse this. I tell you what.
On Twitter, I was ready to get banned.
I tell you what. Fine, who day. Look, you know this, Jake. It takes a lot to impress me, especially for the Bengals. But you didn't just beat somebody yesterday. You didn't just beat anybody. So you beat somebody. You beat the Chiefs, and Joe Burrow looked the damn part while doing it. So I got nothing. Like I said, I opened the show today. This isn't an act. This isn't me forcing words. Oh, this must pain you to say it. It doesn't pain me to say it. It doesn't pain me to say it if it is true. What pains me to say it is there's some shows I've had to crack this mic to tell people what they want to hear because, Jake, no offense, some of your fan base are just too damn soft and they drive me nuts.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's easy to be a soft Bengals fan today because you're division champs, you're going to the playoffs, you're hosting a playoff game, and you have a quarterback that is so damn good that they have no excuse not to win a playoff game this year. And that's not a trap by me.
I'm hearing from you today.
What?
I said, I really like what I'm hearing from you today, but I just called to say that the people that like Bob and when the guy on Twitter just started going off, they were just really raining on my parade. First of all, that guy was a Falcons fan, so I don't even know why he was in your mention.
He's a coward. He deleted it. Whatever.
Yeah, good, whatever. but yeah, that's really all I had to say. And also, it takes a lot for you to admit that you were wrong because you admitted you were wrong a couple of times today. But I just wanted to call and admit that I was wrong about the Jackson Carman pick. So that's all I had to say for you.
Mending fences. That's what the purpose of this day is and the show. Good stuff. Jake, great hearing from you, man. I hope you had a happy new year.
Good to hear.
Take care.
You too, bye.
Hope you had a happy new year. Hope you have a happy, what the hell? Rusty show, whatever. First day back in 10 days. It is what it is.
Got a little bit of breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
Caleb Williams, the quarterback from Oklahoma, has entered the portal.
That means Lincoln Riley's struggling finding an OQB over at USC.
Did he? I think
he got a couple. I think what USC needs, though, I don't know if I'm not a big USC follower of their recruiting. They've got a couple 5-star guys to decommit from other programs to commit there, but do they have an experienced quarterback? And USC, they're going to have to plug a lot of gaps with transfer players, so they're going to have a lot of experienced players. Do you want to drop in a freshman quarterback with that? We'll see if those guys are good enough, but I'm excited for USC, man. Like, I'm curious. One topic we'll do later this week. What's the one team that you want to see do really well that you're not a fan of? Like, everyone's Buckeye fans, and you're not cheating on the Buckeyes, but you're just kind of checking this chick out on the side. She might be USC could be your side piece. I'm just curious, which college program is your side piece that you'll never lose your bond with your team? Ohio State's my team. What's that program you've been keeping an eye on that you're kind of winking at from time to time? Kinder can't wink, but if I did, I'd be winking at USC. That program, I want that program to be legitimate again. I want them to kick ass. Mikey, if you're listening, Mikey, if you want to kick off the new year with calling in, he's a big USC fan. Back in the day when they were the biggest cheaters in college football. I mean, Pete Carroll, if cheating was an Olympic sport, he'd be a gold medalist. I mean, my goodness. But anyways.
For me, I mean, it's simple, man. It's Florida State, man. That's my second team. I only follow 2 teams in college football religiously. It's Ohio State and Florida State, but I watch a ton of college football. So of course I want USC to be good because it's more entertaining when there's a team on the West Coast, obviously team in the Midwest with us here being Buckeye country, obviously the SEC with the South and everything like that. It's more entertaining when there's multiple teams vying for spots in the college football playoff. So, I want USC to be good. So if Caleb Williams decides to go out there, I'm cool with it because you know why? Oklahoma and Texas killed the Big 12. So
but Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give him a shout out. Today's the day I'm mending fences today. I beat up on the Bearcats a ton. And I don't believe a result of a game dictates whether you deserve to be there or not. I've said that from the beginning. Ohio State lost 31-0 to Clemson years ago. I got pissed off at everyone, said that, see, they didn't deserve to be there. They beat 4 top 10 teams that year. They deserve to be, including an Oklahoma team in the non-conference on the road. They deserve to be in the playoff that year. I don't believe because they lost 31-0 to Clemson that they didn't deserve to be there. So I'm not a big fan. So I don't even care if Cincinnati would have got beat by 60. I still would have not have said, well, they didn't deserve to be there. I don't like the idea of letting them in the playoff because it was a feel-good story, but you know what? It is what it is. They did their part. They won all the games they were supposed to. They beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. They did what they were, but they went and held their own. If we're going to base it on the result of a game and whether a team deserved to be there or not, they look like they deserved to be there more than that team up north did. So congrats to Cincinnati on a great season. I'm actually really glad that Luke Fickell is sticking around, because at the end of the day, like, I think this season is how you build something.
Yeah.
What I can't stand is usually the way these Cinderella stories end is with the coach leaving to go somewhere else and, oh, what could have been. You know, what could UFC have been had Scott Frost stayed there?
Right.
Like, I don't know if Frost ever goes back, if Malzahn leaves and takes a bigger job, and because I think Nebraska has one more year with them. Let's say Malzahn leaves to UCF after this year and you see Scott Frost go back. Can he recapture that? I don't know. But that's why it's dangerous to leave when you're rolling. So this about Archie Miller leaving UD. Sometimes, like, I wouldn't leave right now. When you're hot, ride that. Don't leave. Like, continue building on that, because you can't come back and reestablish that again. I don't think that right now Luke Fickell, like, even if they regress next year, let's say by losing one game, I don't think that's regression. I just think that that's a transition year, and you keep everything intact. You keep recruiting intact, and then Cincinnati's just as good, if not better, the next year. Fickell staying is huge.
Yeah.
That's big. I don't think he's did it in a diehard loyal way. I just don't think that the opportunity to leave has presented itself yet. But I think that Cincinnati is in good hands moving forward, not just because he's done a good job to this point. It's because he's still there. You could build off the momentum of making the playoff this year and everything. I just think that that's been great. They're going to the Big 12 here in a few years. And if they could do it with Fickell, the Bearcats could be the face of that conference very soon.
For me,
if not right away, because you're right, it's not a sexy conference right now. And you're like, oh man, the Big 12, they're absorbing a playoff team in Cincinnati. Yeah, well, if Fickell leaves, I don't think you could just drop anyone in there and they pick up where he left off. I don't think you can do that with Cincinnati. You could do it with Ohio State. You could do it with LSU. You could do it with Notre Dame. You could do it with programs like that. You can't do that with Cincinnati. I think it's very important that the Bearcats do everything they can to keep Fickell, put as much money in front. You want to be a big boy, right? You're in the Big 12. You're a Power 5 now. Spend like it. Even if you don't have it, find it. Get a booster. Do what you got to do. All that illegal stuff that all the bigger programs do, find a way to do it. Do it better.
There's a Kroger
Keep
on every corner in Cincinnati. Holla at them. For me, it's as simple as this, man. You see the last 2 years they had good teams. Well, last year they had a good team. This year they had a great team. But there's a difference between having good teams and having a program. And I think that is what Luke Fickell is trying to build down in Cincinnati. When you have two cornerbacks like they have, you can do a ton, man. Like, I know we're not like big PFF guys and everything like that. I just watch with my eyes. And watching that game, I saw what Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner were able to do. I saw what offensively Alabama was going to do. So, well, no need to bang our head up against a wall. They're smaller than us up front. They run a 3-3-5. We're just going to run. And then when they had to pass, they didn't say like, all right, Jamison Williams, you go up against Sauce Gardner and you beat him one-on-one. No, they line them up middle. They line them up in the slot. Like, forget that. Why mess with that? We'll line you up in the slot and put a line, have you covered by a linebacker or a safety, and you get open every single time. Like, that's just smart coaching. But you know what? They had to keep Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner on the outside because they got other dudes out there. Like, hey, we just don't know about them yet. You know what I mean? So it's great coaching on Nick Saban's part. It's great development on the case of UC by taking 2 3-star dudes and developing them, and they're going to be cashing checks in the NFL. And look, man, defensively, they held their own. Offensively, wasn't nothing cooking. I mean, literally, like, you know what it kind of reminded me of? When Desmond Ridder would drop back to pass, he was under siege. It reminded me of Troy Smith, Florida. Like, there was just nothing they could do. Like, hey, we're going to leave a back end to chip them. Nah, that didn't work. Oh, we're going to leave the tight end in. But guess what? The tight ends are their best receivers, so they got to go out on passes. So it was just really nothing they could do offensively. They had
They kept talking about him like he was a tiny quarterback. Man, there's Desmond Ritter. You know, he's just small at the line. He's 6'4".
He's 6'4", 210 pounds. Like,
throw me nut. That part didn't irritate me.
Like, look, man, he's put on like 50 pounds since he's been in school. Like, I'm not sure what else y'all want the kid to do. Like, they had an opportunity that first drive. The pass got batted down, and then the other one was a little high, and that was basically all she wrote offensively for them. But defensively, you look at how Alabama scored basically on everybody else this season. Cincinnati's defense was right up there, holding them in quote unquote check. You know, if you want to play the Heisman Trophy winner, how he played against the Georgia defense, what is perceived as the best defense in the country, versus the UC defense. Night and day. 400 yards, 180 yards. Like, it goes a mile, man. So kudos to Cincinnati, man. They gave it their all, and they definitely deserve to be in there, man. And another thing that you brought up about the whole did they deserve to go and everything like that. The team that everybody said absolutely they deserve to be in there, they got the doors blown off. I turned it off at halftime.
Yeah, we got to stop doing that result indicating whether they deserve to be there. Michigan deserved to be there.
Absolutely, they deserve to be there. But the team that, without a doubt, everybody said, oh, they deserve to be there. Oh, Cincinnati, yeah, okay, we'll let you in. No, they got blew out too.
And keep in mind, the SEC will finish the year 3-1 in bowl games. Go ahead, ask why.
I'm not playing your little games, Kurt Herbstreit.
It's the SEC championship game. I mean, the national championship game, same thing. And the only bowl games that matter were played. There's only 3 total bowl games that matter. 2 semis and the national title game.
And whatever one Ohio State is playing.
Well, my favorite thing, too, that people do this time of year, man, bowl games don't mean anything. They're exhibition games. I don't know why I'm giving myself that voice, because that's exactly what I say. But people do that. And then they have the nerve to go on there and say, well, bowl games mean nothing. They're pointless. They're stupid. If it's not the playoff, it don't matter. Oh, big bad SEC. Look at them losing all these games. Well,
start out, 0-4?
I thought it doesn't matter. You know, why do you get mad? Do you get pissed off at preseason standings and other sports? I bet spring training, that's up around the corner, hopefully. I mean, it is what 518-1410, Bengals, Buckeyes, college football playoffs, so much that we're catching up on here on this first show of the new year. I hope everyone did have a great holiday break, by the way. I did get to see a lot of family, got to see a lot of friends, battled the flu, did not battle, you know, it is what it is. I was able to kind of fight through something. Got moved in. Brad Mays, Home Experts Realty. Shout out to Brad Mays, Home Experts Realty. It was a busy break. Glad to be back with you. 518-1410. Let's go to, is this different Bob?
Different Bob.
Different Bob. Bob, how are you?
Yes, it is a different Bob. A Bob that can't stand the Bengals.
Oh, good Bob then. Okay. All right.
Same one that always calls and rags the Bengals is Bob was talking about, well, we won, and Charlie as well. You know, we've won this many division titles since the NFC North came back. Okay. How many playoff games did they damn win?
0.
None. They didn't win a single playoff game. So until the Bengals, congratulations, they won the division. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, to be fair, I gotta stay. Hold on, Bob. It's not whoop-de-doo, because that's a big deal. That's tough to do. But this is what happens in these debates, Bob, is that we tried to give credit where credit's due, but then they have to come back and poke fun at our team. And then when we discredit what they're doing, then we're the bad guys. Like, I'm learning this as I go.
Totally
so
agree.
For one, I got to give the Bengals credit. Winning the division is a big deal. I'm so angry because the Browns had a chance to do it. And, you know, they were a dumb field goal away from getting it done. It's unfortunate. They should have done it, but they did it. And I wanted them to win it. I'm jealous that they didn't do it. I'm jealous that the Bengals are the ones doing it. I'll give the Bengals credit. But what I get annoyed with is with Bengals fans like that instead of making this a joyous celebration about their team winning the division, they like to poke fun at the Browns for not making the playoffs, being in last.
No, you're right.
That's where I lose my temper, but I'm trying to acknowledge where I lose my temper, and that's where I get mad at. So, no, I'm acknowledging it. It's great that they won the division. It's great.
They deserve credit. They won the division, okay? But look at what happens if Baltimore is completely healthy all season.
What
happens if the Browns are completely healthy all season? You know, totally different ball game. I mean, it makes me mad. the fact that they want to ridicule and everything else. Well, your Browns, they suck and blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, thanks. But you know what? When was the last time the Bengals won a playoff game?
Oh, and that's the thing, too. Like, they know better. They know that they haven't won the playoffs in forever. They are one of the longest.
Over, what, 31 years now?
But then they poke fun at the Browns for, when's the last time you won a division title? It's like, why do we keep doing this moving the goalpost thing? I'm willing to acknowledge the Bengals have done a great thing this year. So I'm trying to put an end to this war between the Browns and Bengals fans. Let's just acknowledge when the other team does something good and hate each other during the season as we do now. But at the same time, let's stop trying to discredit the other team's accomplishments, because at the end of the day, it's the NFL and the Bengals. A year from now, or a year ago, the Browns thought that they were going to be ahead of where they were now, and they're in last place. The Bengals think that they're only going to get better moving forward. The Browns thought the same thing last year. The Bengals could just as easy be in last place next year.
So I have a question.
So you never know.
What happens, okay, the Bengals lose their first round playoff game? What are the excuses going to be that they lost the playoff game? Honestly, what excuses are they going to? Well, we were missing this guy, or this guy was hurting. You have no excuses. My question, I guess that's where it falls, is the fact that winning the division, I give them the props and I'll give them the credit for that. But until they win a playoff game, they have no room to dog my team or Kevin's team or, your team, because the fact that they still have a lot to prove.
Hey, is this the Bob that calls Kev Pittsburgh?
No. This the Bob that's the same as you, as a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan.
Whoa. You know that guy? You had that like straight from the hip, man. Good for you. But no, Bob, you said all the right things, man. I agree with you. But you sounded a lot like 2000. You sound a lot like 2021, Kenner. I'm more zen right now. I'm more calm.
Well, hey, this is only the first show of the season.
Oh, God. By tomorrow, I'll be back to normal, I'm sure. But I'm just trying some things.
Hey, we'll give you a week. Matter of fact, I tell you what. We'll give you until the playoffs.
Fair enough.
And then once the playoffs start, then we can go back to seeing the old Justin, which I love, and we can rag the Bengals, because I want to know what excuses are they going to have if they lose, and that's what it's going to come down to. When the Bengals win a playoff game, I will give them every due credit of the respect that they deserve. But until then, they can't say a word to us Browns fans. If this was me hating, and I'm not, but I'm going to give you, here's how I would hate. If Kenner was hating on the Bengals, here's how he would do it. And I'm not doing it, but here's how I would. I would say that even if the Bengals win their first playoff game, the Browns at least won it on the road. So I'm just saying. I'm not saying that, but if Kenner was hating today, that's how I would approach it. But I'm not hating today. All right, Bob, good stuff, man. Take care. All right, brother. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Later.
518-1410. Unbelievable.
All right, Adam Schefter just tweeted out 9 minutes ago, the Bucs did not officially release Antonio Brown per today. A source tells him that there's ongoing discussions between the Bucs and the NFL about how to move forward with the situation.
What a mess, man. This might be the most drama that Tom Brady's ever faced in a season. So there's that. Weird. We'll keep an eye on that. So here's the deal, man. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. So Trey Green on Facebook. He says, he goes, because before the season starts, Cleveland's winning the division. Cleveland's going 13-4, paper champions. Trey, I'm going to say it calm, because usually this is where I get angry. I know what you're saying, but you're sounding kind of silly, and here's why. The Browns had every right to be crowned AFC Super Bowl. They were never crowned the Super Bowl favorites, by the way. They were crowned Super Bowl contenders. And that was a no-brainer. Duh. Look at that roster. There's no reason why they should not be winning this division and contending for the playoffs and contending for a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, though, the players they had on this roster that made them those contenders didn't play half the season. So it's not that hard to understand why the Browns are where they're at. People are wanting to see me break down about the Browns not having a great year. And the thing is, if the Browns were healthy all year like the Bengals and the Browns had this record, I would be devastated. But there is a silver lining for my peace of mind that you know what I mean? Like that game a few weeks ago against the Raiders. That was my peace of mind game. Like, well, if they win this, it's house money. And if you lose, Well, you're supposed to. And that was like the cherry on the top of a season that was just every big game, like, against the Chargers, half their star defensive players out. Against the Cardinals, pretty much every star was out. It was stupid. And it's not an excuse. It's just the reality of it. Like, the Bengals are good this year. Why? Because of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon. Well, if of a 17-game season, if you take those guys out for 7 or 8 of those games, guess who's not winning the division, folks? Like, it is what it is. That's why I don't wave that next man up flag, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your star players. And when the star players aren't out there, the next man up mentality can only take you so far. I will give the Titans credit, though, that's what makes their story so interesting, is they lose arguably the best running back in the NFL. And they were able to plug his production in with like 4 contributors. Like they said, well, we can't replace him with another name, but we could replace him with 4 names. And it's unbelievable what they've done since then. But that's the reason that's a great story, Kev, is because that doesn't happen.
Right.
If it was as simple as, well, your star player's out, just have 3 or 4 other players fill in for the production. If it was as easy as that, no one would care about injuries. No one would care about that. But it is a problem. So my point is, I'm not making excuses, but like, this isn't discrediting what the Bengals have done, but the Browns would probably be a 12-13 win team if they were healthy. The fact that they've almost won 8 or 9 with everything they've gone through, I'm not saying it's impressive, but the fact that they were in the playoff conversation to the second to last week of the season is pretty damn impressive, all things considered. I will leave it at that.
You brought up the Tennessee Titans. Guess how many receptions Julio Jones has this season?
How many games has he played, by the way? I haven't heard that name all year. That's
part of the game, Kenner. That's part of the game.
I don't know. I don't have nothing on him.
He has 26 receptions, played 9 games this season.
Well, hold up. Time out. 9's still a lot of games, and he's only caught 26 passes in those 9 games? When you're paid what he's paid and what the big deal it was to bring him over with A.J. Brown?
So I know this for sure. He left the game versus the Steelers in the second quarter, and there was another game that was on where I saw that he left the game early, like didn't even make it to halftime. Look, man, we talked about this last year with AJ Green, with the Cincinnati Bengals. When you are that big, 6'3", 200-something pounds, 230 pounds or whatever, and you start having toe, ankle, and feet problems, those type of things you just don't bounce back from. Like, you just don't. Like, so the explosiveness, the quickness, and everything like that, yeah, the first 2 games of the season, but then that bug pops up and gets you again, it takes you longer to come back, man. So this has been going on with him for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? This was happening not even just last year when he was with the Falcons. This happened like, I want to say like the year after they went to the Super Bowl, like he was having foot problems then. Now, you just don't bounce back for those type of things, man. But to their credit, like you talked about with Coach Vrabel and, the stable of running backs, and the defense is way better. The defense is good again. You know what I'm saying? So it's credit to them.
Imagine they ever got it all on the same page. Titans winning the Super Bowl or getting to one. I don't know.
Is he going to play? Is he going to play?
And no, I just meant if it all worked out.
Oh, okay.
Imagine because that defense, like a few years ago, there was the year they beat the Patriots. They had a Super Bowl defense, and they had a very average to below average offense.
And then last year, the offense was up here and the defense was down there.
And then this year, the defense is back up, and they had the offense is about as even as it could be. And then Derrick Henry goes, remember what kind of football he was playing before that injury, man.
He almost had 1,000 yards. Let me see how many games Henry was playing. All right, great. Computer's acting crazy.
Yeah, check your internet.
I'm almost there. Yeah, he had over 900 yards in 8 games. 8 games, dog. He almost had 1,000 yards.
Yeah. So
8 games, 937 yards in 8 games.
518-1410. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Tim's on Brown Street. And, of course, Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Happy New Year. We'll be back in a moment.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Now there's an exciting new treatment available here using natural biologics, regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. Hey, it's Keith Byers. I'm talking about QC Kinetics, now open here. QC Kinetics is a nation leader in non-surgical regeneration, highly concentrated natural biologics that can give you lasting relief. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, and you're tired of steroids, pain meds, and talk of major surgery, this is a treatment you've been hoping for. Call the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again, pain-free. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call QC Kinetics now, 937-936-0325. That number again is 937-936-0325.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Fed up with companies selling your data? DuckDuckGo is on it. They help millions of people like you take back their privacy online. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
Custodial team is not
someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
For only $49.99, lose all the weight you want, 100% guaranteed. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick Seminars. That's right, seminars Thursday, January 13th at the Holiday Inn in Fairborn. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Saturday, January 15th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Dayton. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Tired of being tracked online? DuckDuckGo can help. They help millions of people like you take control of their personal information online. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Propane, keeping utilities simple and families warm since 1952. See how and more at culletpropane.com.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you involved with a school or charitable fundraiser that holds an auction, bid and buy booth, or a raffle to raise money? Many of the most popular items at auctions or booths are autographed sports memorabilia items. How can you get great items in your event? Call Adam Walter at Sports Investments. Sports Investments has a consignment program for fundraisers that has provided outstanding items. You select items that are proven sellers, including autographed pieces from Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Big Red Machine, the Bengals, the Browns, UC, XU, UK, NKU, Dayton, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Sports Investments consigns the items to your group at a highly discounted price. And when they sell, you keep the profit. You don't pay anything in advance. And if something doesn't sell, you simply return it. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
Custodial team is not
Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash with you here on a Monday. Happy New Year. So, Ron Broadstock on Facebook, Kev, says the Browns fans just as whiny as us, talking about how much we upset you because we're happy for the first time in 6 years. So I'm going to keep on this New Year, New Me trend. I'm not going to get angry at this comment, or I'm going to be angry at this comment, but I'm just going to counter it with a calmer response. Here's the deal. No one's upset at you, Ron, for being happy. See, that's that. What's that called? Gaslight. What's that called? They're trying to make you
the match.
Yeah. What's
gaslighting.
Gaslighting. Is that?
I think so.
Isn't that? I think that's what they're doing here, where they're treating you a certain way and then trying to pin you to be the bad guy for your reaction, right? Like, I think that's what's going on here. So he's saying that I'm being whiny and upsetting me because they're happy for the first time in 6 years. No. What I've said from the beginning, like on Twitter today, there were some people coming at me saying, hey, can I get a who day? Hey, where you at? I haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on? You have nothing to say about the Bengals. Yes, they're good. I was wrong. Joe Burrow looked great. They kicked ass. They looked awesome, whatever. But then it got nasty with a couple people because then they came at me with like, oh, well, how's it smell down in the basement? Last place. Browns suck. Browns are overrated. Browns this. And I said, well, hold up, time out. Browns were not overrated. They were rightly rated. And if that rightly rated team was the team on the field on a week in, week out basis, those arguments would be valid, but they're not valid because those players are not on the field. The players that made them Super Bowl contenders coming in, as far as expectations, those aren't the players that were out there that they missed more than 50% of the season when you add it all up. It's not an excuse. It is what it is. So my point was that if you're going to take shots at my team, I will counter and remind you that as good as I think that the Bengals are and have been playing, My point is, do you really think that the Bengals would be division champs if the Ravens and Browns were not decimated by injuries? That's not taking anything away from the Bengals, because the Bengals have won 10 games, okay? And they beat up on a healthier Ravens team earlier. It's not as if they the second win against the Ravens, I was like, okay, whatever. That was the third string quarterback. You had third in practice squad secondary guys. No Humphrey. No J.K. Dobbins. No, they haven't had those guys all year. That one, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But good teams beat bad teams, and the Bengals did that. But the first Ravens win, that was something. That was really impressive. Okay, you outshined the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and a much healthier unit at that time. Hell, even when the Browns beat the Ravens a few weeks ago, they beat the backup quarterback. I said, hey, it's always good when you beat the Ravens, by the way. It's always good when you beat the Steelers. I don't care if it's the Mason Rudolph-led Steelers. I don't care if it's the third-string quarterback-led Ravens. Beating those two teams, that's great. But big picture, the Ravens would be a 12-13 win team if Lamar and company was pretty much at 90% strength all year. They haven't even been at 30. It's been bad. The fact that they're even in position is a miracle in itself. Cleveland has not been as unfortunate as the Ravens, but they have been unfortunate, Kev, right? So there's that. So I said you can't tell me that the Bengals are winning this division if those two teams are healthy. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. It is what it is. That doesn't take away from the fact that the Bengals are a playoff team. The Bengals right now is constructed. They're a playoff team no matter what, whether it's winning the division or wild card. There's not a lot of teams better than Cincinnati, especially outside of the AFC North. So it is what it is. But I get mad at comments like Ron's here who are trying to say that, I'm rude. For the first time in 6 years, I'm not letting them be happy because they're making me. No, you be happy. Just don't bring up the Browns. What do the Browns have to do with it? When the Browns beat the Steelers last year, I didn't bring up the Bengals unless Bengals fans started bringing up, oh, well, you didn't win the division. You didn't beat anybody this year. Oh, you beat that Steelers team. That Steelers team's no good. You guys did the same thing. So I'm saying it calm. That's all. Ron, don't do that. Do better. I'm allowing you to be happy. I've been happy with you. I've been praising the Bengals all day. But what you don't get to do is be the victim in this, because you're not a victim in this. I'm not a victim, and no one's a victim in this. Oh, Justin, you must be miserable. Why am I miserable? I've been miserable all season watching the Browns do this. The Bengals winning the division, good for them. That's all I got to say about that. 518-1410. What you got?
We got a big game tonight.
Yes, people want to hear our thoughts on that tonight, too.
Monday Night Football.
It's like an exhibition game, by the way. It means nothing.
No. We're still in it. We're still in it. We need a miracle, but we're still in it. Obviously, the big storyline is Big Ben's last home game at Heinz Field, taking on the Cleveland Browns, the place where...
Oh, real quick. Ron wasn't talking to me. He was talking to the caller. Okay, Ron, my bad. Carry on. Kev, back to you.
No problem. So we got this matchup tonight. Obviously, with everything that transpired yesterday, the Cleveland Browns officially eliminated from playoff contention. My question for you is, what type of Browns effort are we going to get tonight? Are we going to get the Browns, let's knock them out the playoffs too, or are they just going to pack it in?
I don't think... Look, Baker playing tonight is stupid. Baker should not be playing. I'm kind of curious about Case Keenum. Is he that bad? Is Case Keenum that bad that you can't even get a start over a one-armed Baker Mayfield, who with two arms still is questionable about how competent he is as an NFL quarterback? Are you that bad? Baker should not be playing tonight. I respect the hell out of him for the toughness he showed all season long, trying to play through it. Broken bone in his shoulder, torn labrum, all those things that he's been going through. I know people say it's his non-throwing arm. It doesn't matter. If you don't understand how that doesn't affect the whole torque of your body that it takes to throw a football, I don't know what to tell you. That's just you being a hater at that point. But he's going to have to get surgery on this. Get it now. That surgery should have been scheduled the second yesterday that they were eliminated from the playoffs. He should have been under the knife. I have no clue what the purpose of playing these last 2 weeks is. I just don't. Last 2 games, I guess, 1 week. But it doesn't make any sense. I do want to make sure I say this. People love to hate on the Steelers and hate on Big Ben. Big Ben is like that star player in every sport that I hated watching growing up. But when you do see them leave the sport, you're like, man, that kind of stinks that they're leaving. I don't think it stinks he's leaving because he stinks. It's not like he's playing like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady at this age. But at the same time, it's an end of an era. Yeah. The Steelers, no matter what age you are, you have an idea of who the Steelers were for you as a kid growing up. For me, it was the tail end of that Jerome Bettis era right into this Big Ben era. And this Big Ben era has been fantastic for the Steelers. A lot of guys you can't stand on the Steelers team. But just like Steelers fans can't stand the Bengals and Ravens and Browns, that's what's made it fun. Big Ben made the Steelers relevant. When the Steelers are relevant, that makes Browns-Ravens or Browns-Steelers relevant. That makes Steelers-Bengals relevant. That makes Bengals-Ravens or Steelers-Ravens relevant. A Steelers team with no Big Ben, I fear the relevancy of some of these rivalries moving forward. But the Steelers organization has always found a way to go from one QB to the next. Who will it be? Who knows?
Man, we have no idea. I have no idea. My inner fandom wants to believe that it's Dwayne Haskins and they're pulling a Jameis Winston like the Saints did last year. Like, they're just not going to play him and we're just going to hide him for an entire year and then he'll be our starter next year. Like, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping as a Buckeye fan, as a Steeler fan, and I'm hoping he will be the guy. But the reality of the situation, I have no idea. But the other part is I don't want any of these quarterbacks in the first round at all. I want to fix that offensive line. And I'm still a proponent that believes that if Big Ben had an offensive line a la that Tom Brady does down there in Tampa, no, he wouldn't be Tom Brady. He's never been Tom Brady, but he wouldn't be this bad. I don't think he would be this bad. And no matter who the quarterback is, you can bring back freaking Big Ben as a rookie and you put him behind this offensive line, he'll look horrible. So priority number one for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to fix that offensive line. You know, it was super funny for me watching the game yesterday with the Bengals and KC, and I'm seeing Creed Humphrey out there just block dudes. And I'm thinking to myself, I wanted him to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I wanted him to be a Steeler, and they passed on him. Now, granted, they got Pat Freiermuth out of Penn State. Very good tight end. He'll be the starter next year and everything like that. Very good. But for goodness sakes, man, fix the offensive line. Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're listening to the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash, please, if you got a chance, draft the offensive lineman, the center out of Iowa. Please. Because no matter who's the quarterback, they're going to need help behind that offensive line. And you got Najee Harris back there just running into brick walls because there aren't any lanes to open. Fix the offensive line.
Big Ben, last thing, because we're almost out of time. Big Ben, does he end his career at Heinz Field with the win tonight against the Browns?
You know it, baby! Here we go! 16-13, another nail biter.
Baker should not play tonight. And here's why. Sure, they could win and you could start feeling good about it. But, like, do you realize, like, every loss, I look at tonight, if the Browns lose, I'm like, okay, whatever. They're not playing for the playoffs. You're just playing to play, whatever. But, like, every loss to Baker moving forward is killing his legacy. Is not the leverage. If I'm Baker, get the hell out of there. Has any report come out? I've not checked. He's playing, right?
Yeah, that's everything I've seen. He's playing. I mean, why would he stop now? Like, in his mind, he's playing.
Well, he's not in charge. This has been my whole problem since day one. Of course, the player's always going to say that they are good to go. But, like, if I'm going to rip the Bengals organization for boneheaded decisions, I'm going to go right back to ripping Cleveland. You morons. How are you going to let Baker Mayfield play? You've let him play through some questionable games this year anyways, but I at least chalked it up to, well, I at least respect the fact that they're letting him be a warrior and go out there and try to lead his team through it. I was able to compartmentalize it that way. What I cannot compartmentalize is, how are you going to let a guy with the banged up shoulder that needs surgery go out there and play in a meaningless game against Pittsburgh? What are you playing for outside of, well, we want to finish the season with a winning record at least? Stop it with that. Don't let your pride get in the way. Every day and second that you let that dude continue to practice and play right now is a day that you're setting him back getting prepared for next season. I don't get it. I big Browns fan, love Baker, love the Browns, but, like, they're stupid, man. Like, if you're letting him play tonight, that's a mistake. That is an absolute mistake. And yeah, I'd be ripping the Bengals if they made this decision. Like, if Joe Burrow had a banged up knee all year and they got eliminated from the playoffs and they were letting him play tonight instead of, stop. What are you doing? I'm going to rip the Browns for doing the same thing. Kev, I think it's a mistake, especially when you got Case Keenum. What are you forcing it for? There's no reason to have him out there. So
who'll win it tonight?
All right. Doug Toby says, I hope Pittsburgh doesn't get C.J. Stroud in a couple years. Well, you know those Buckeye quarterbacks never work out.
Oh, God.
Unless you're Joe Burrow, of course, right? Aye. All right, folks, have a great night. Happy New Year. Bengals fans, congratulations. You guys have dealt with me for a year, just beating up on your team, and you earned. I think there's no better way to start out the new year than Kenner giving you 3 hours of positive Bengals talk. So there you go. Can we make it 6 tomorrow? I don't know. We'll find out. Have a great night, folks. We'll talk to Jason Fitz on tomorrow's show. Excited for that as well. Until tomorrow, it's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science.